Hello and welcome into White House Field as the Harwich Mariners are set to take on the Brewster Whitecaps as the Mariners look to win 3 consecutive games. I'm Austin Rooney alongside my broadcasting partner Thomas Inzarella. And Thomas, Mariners are going to take on the Brewster Whitecaps tonight. They also faced off against the Whitecaps last night on the road. Mariners had a big 7-5 win. What were your thoughts on the hitting in particular last night?
Well, the hitting was pretty good last. It was quite exceptional, actually. Able to get off 7 runs on 13 hits, and there was hits coming from all over the place, from top to bottom of that lineup. But starting with Tanner Morris, went 3 for 5. Again, he started the game off with a leadoff hit after backing Orleans 2 games ago. He started off with a triple last game with a single. And then he came around to score both times and actually got a pair of stolen bases. So he almost did everything right for the Mariners yesterday. And then talking about Andre Lipsius collecting another RBI. He went 2 for 5, and then Ben Norman 2 for 4 with 2 runs and 2 RBIs and 1 run. So, and then Eichhoff at the 9-0 with 2 for 4 with a run. So again, the guys all the way throughout the lineup really making some nice contributions. And if you're Coach Daniel, you're pretty happy about last night's performance from the offensive standpoint.
And from the pitching standpoint, the Mariners had to go with a spot start last night as the Mariners did not have a regular starter to go with. So they went with Austin Wood to start things off and then followed him up with Joe Lasorsa. Lasorsa was extremely impressive, and they finished off with George Kirby, who had an outstanding appearance in just the 1 inning.
Yeah, no, I think all 4 pitchers yesterday with Austin, with Lasorsa, Beeline, and Kirby, they did pretty well. I think Beeline ran a little bit of trouble, and Wood as well with the walks. He had 3 walks in 3 innings. But he only gave up 2 hits and 2 runs for Woods. It was a nice start for him to get the ball off to Lasorsa, who was him and Kyle Cameron, both guys who came in early for long relief outings. Both of them did a very good job for both sides. And then I would say Kirby finished off the game just like he normally would. I mean, he didn't allow a hit. He got 2 strikeouts, just had a little hiccup back in YD, but his stuff was looking very good on the mound, both his curveball and his fastball. His fastball touching up almost towards 96, 97 is what we were hearing back at Brewster yesterday.
And on the mound tonight for the Harwich Mariners is Ricky DeVito. DeVito out of Seton Hall. He was the biggest pitcher of the year, and since arriving on Cape Cod, he's been a little bit up and down.
Yeah, no, he's making his 3rd start. He's made his 6th appearance, 3rd start. His last start was back in Chatham. He kind of a little roughed up, 3 2/3, 6 hits, 6 runs, 4 earned. 3 walks and 4 strikeouts. He has that fastball that can really rise into the mid-90s. And his other start came back in Wareham the 2nd game of the season, and he had a pretty good outing there. 4 innings, 4 hits, 2 runs, 2 earned, 3 walks, and 4 strikeouts. So I mean, there's been 2 starts. One's been good, one's been okay. So we'll see if he can try to bounce back here against a Brewster lineup that has struggled to score runs at times this season.
And on the mound for the Brewster Whitecaps is Zach Lingenfelter. Lingenfelter out of Tennessee, the right-handed pitcher. He throws very hard. He'll throw in the mid-90s, and he can hit as high as 98, possibly even 99. But he struggled to throw strikes this year on Cape Cod. He's walked 12 hitters in 14 1/3 innings of work. What do you see the walks or what he has to work on tonight?
Yeah, no, the walks are definitely the thing you can work on, especially against a team like Harwich. You can really has a very keen eye at the plate and will take a lot of walks. Again, 2nd league in walks coming into this game. They've been doing it all season long, and they'll continue to do it tonight. And Lingenfelter's got to watch. Really he's got to throw some maybe early pitch strikes, some fastballs in there, because if you can't look at that fastball, it's going to be a long night for him. So
who are some key players for both teams you like to watch tonight, Thomas?
So I would say Canzone at the top of the order for the Whitecaps, starting with them. He went 1 for 4 yesterday, and he only had this. He also had a walk added to his name. But again, he's a guy that he's key for them at the top of the order for the Whitecaps. And then I would also say Cameron Eden. He's in the 5-hole spot tonight, but in the 2-hole yesterday, went 3 for 5 with an RBI to run. So he was kind of the spotlight for the Whitecaps yesterday in their loss. He drove in again 2 of the 5 runs for them yesterday. So again, he's going to be a major contributor if they want to win today.
Another player to watch for the Whitecaps is Joseph Donovan, who is 8 for his last 13 at the plate. He's red hot. And he mentioned Dominic Canzone, 12 for his last 25. So a couple of hitters who are doing quite well for the Whitecaps. Now, what about the Mariners? Who do you look for the Harwich Mariners to break out tonight?
Well, if Morris can continue to contribute from the top of the order, I think it would be a very nice sign for the Mariners, and he might make a mainstay up there. And Gallant's coming back in the lineup. He got the night off yesterday in Brewster, so it's the first time he's playing the Whitecaps since back in July 4th, July 5th, since that's that home-and-home series. So we'll see what he can do. But Aaron Shunka as well. Aaron Shunka only went 1 for 5 yesterday, in the win. Again, a guy that has really been driving in runs for the Mariners this season, so we'll see if he can bounce back on track today. And then Lipsius as well had an RBI, so we'll see if Norman in the sixth hole this evening can try to continue that trend he's been having. After the home run in Whitey, he had 2 RBIs yesterday and collected 2 hits, so we'll see what Norman can do today.
So we'll step aside for the national anthem and be back for the first pitch. You're listening to Mariners Baseball on the Harwich Mariners Radio Network. Welcome back inside White House Field as we are just about ready for the first pitch between the Harwich Mariners and the Brewster Whitecaps. But first, Thomas, take us around the diamond for the Harwich Mariners.
Starting in left field, Ed Eichhoff, Chris Gown out in center field, Ben Norman out at right, Shunk at third base, Morrison at short, Casals at second, Lipsy's over at first, and Logan Driscoll doing the catching for Ricky DeVito.
And Dominic Canzone digs in from the left side. First pitch from DeVito is cut on and fouled off down the left field side, and the count 0-1. Starting lineup for the Brewster Whitecaps, batting first and playing left field, Dominic Canzone. Batting second and playing right is Ray Alejo. Batting third and playing first base is Jesse Franklin, as the 0-1 delivery is swung on and hit in the hole between first and second. Casals trying to play that ball on his forehand, but it gets by him and into right field, so it's a base hit to lead things off for Dominic Canzone, who is now 13 for his last 26 at the plate.
Yeah, sometimes when you're swinging the bat as hot as he has, you get some of those little high chopper dinker hits just getting past the infield. That was a no man's land, so it's a little kind of a tough play for everybody because Casals is playing a little deep and more up the middle than he wasn't playing more towards the hole area. So able to get on his Canzone with leadoff man.
So Alejo digs in from the right side. Again, the starting lineup, batting first and playing left field, Dominic Canzone. Batting second and playing right is Ray Alejo. Batting third and playing first base, Jesse Franklin. Batting fourth and playing third base, Connor Gramis. Is the first pitch, fastball in there for strike one. Batting fifth and playing second is Cameron Eden. Batting sixth and playing center field, Hunter Bishop. Batting seventh, the designated hitter, Brandon Martirano. Batting eighth, the shortstop is Gage Workman. And closing out the order and doing the catching is Christian Molfetta. The 0-1 delivery. He shows bunt and bunts down third base line. Picking up is DeVito. DeVito fires the first, and it's in time. Nice job by DeVito playing his position and hurrying over towards that third base line before fielding it and making the play across the diamond.
That was a perfectly executed bunt by Alejo, and his speed almost got over, but DeVito able to get over there a little bit quickly. It's a tough play again because he's a right-hander, so he'll be falling off towards the first base side. So he had to travel a bit of a ways towards to get that bunt. But made a nice strong throw there just to beat Alejo in time, and he thought he was in there, but
it's an awfully close play at first base. On the bunt, Canzone advanced to second. So runner on second base with one out, top of the first inning, in a scoreless ball game. The three-hitter, the first baseman, Jesse Franklin, takes a look at a breaking ball outside in the count 1-0. Franklin, left-handed hitter out of Michigan. That's a .327 batting average so far on Cape Cod. The 1-0 pitch. Fastball misses upstairs and outside, and the count 2 balls and no strikes. Canzone leads off second base. Franklin in the left-hander's batter's box. The 2-0 delivery. Breaking ball cut on and missed. And Franklin was well out in front of that pitch, and the count 2 balls and 1 strike.
Yeah, Franklin so far, 49 at-bats, is hitting .327 on the Cape League. Only went 1 for 4 yesterday in the loss to the Mariners yesterday back at Stony Brook.
The 2-1 pitch. Fastball cut on and missed, and the count 2-2. Franklin in the middle of a 3-game hitting streak. You mentioned his hit last night. He has one of the best averages on this Brewster Whitecaps roster as well. Canzone leads off second base, top half of the first inning in a scoreless ball game. The 2-2 pitch, breaking ball just outside, and the count runs full at 3-2.
That was a good thought there by DeVito. Throw a backdoor curveball to the left-hander Jesse Franklin, but just might came a little bit high as well and just didn't quite catch the outside black part of the plate.
DeVito gets the sign from the catcher Driscoll. And the home plate umpire calls time as DeVito is taking just a little too long, and Franklin wanted to step out of the left-hander's batter's box. He digs back in.
just want to make sure Canzone doesn't get too big of a lead over there because Morris has to work his way back over towards shortstop.
And the payoff pitch misses low in the dirt. It gets away from Driscoll. Advancing to third is Canzone. He's going to hold up there. So now runners on the corners with one out as Canzone advances to third on a wild pitch, and Franklin reaches first on a walk. So the Whitecaps threatening in the top of the first with runners on the corners and one out. I mentioned last at bat Jesse Franklin has a 3-game hitting streak going. Well, Connor Gramis has a 4-game hit streak. And the first pitch, fastball cut on and missed. The count 0-1.
Gramis didn't play yesterday in the loss to Harwich.
The 0-1 delivery. Check swing. Did he go around? They say he did in the count, no balls and 2 strikes. Not only does he have a 4-game hitting streak going, he also leads the team in home runs with 4. Along with 8 RBIs. That's not the team leader. Cameron Eden leads in that category with 15. The 0-2 delivery. On the outside corner for strike 3. DeVito gets Gramis looking on a fastball, and there's 2 away in the top half of the first inning.
Well, great shot. DeVito needed a strikeout there. Able to get Connor Gramis, who's been a more dangerous hitter in this lineup for the Whitecaps so far. And now just 1 out away from getting out of the first inning.
And Cameron Eden, the second baseman we just mentioned, digs into the right-hander's batter's box. Eden has hit well versus Harwich this season. He's 4 for 7. He was 3 for 5 in yesterday's game as the first pitch is in there for strike 1 with a breaking ball.
It's a good sign for DeVito to have that breaking ball working early. We can throw for a strike and really wreak some havoc on this Whitecaps order.
Runners on the corners, 2 outs, top of the first in a scoreless ball game. The 0-1 delivery. Breaking ball in there for strike 2 on the outside corner, and the count no balls and 2 strikes on Cameron Eden.
It's be tough here. He's thrown 2 straight breaking balls to Eden. Now does he go back to it, or does he go fastball upstairs and trying to get Eden swinging up there?
He's working behind in the count, or working backwards in the count, excuse me. Starting off with that curveball. Would not be surprised to see him go with the fastball, as you mentioned. The 0-2 pitch. Misses low into the dirt. It gets away from Driscoll temporarily. Now headed home, and there's not going to be a play at the plate. Scoring from third is Canzone, and advancing to second is Jesse Franklin. As the Brewster Whitecaps take a 1-0 lead, Logan Driscoll had trouble fielding that ball behind home plate. And the pitcher for the Harwich Mariners, Ricky DeVito, took a while to get over to the plate, and Canzone recognized the opportunity and was able to score very easily on the play.
Again, just being able to read that ball in the dirt, and Canzone reads it perfectly and saw that DeVito wasn't covering. Able to take a base, and now Brewster has an early run here.
1-0 Brewster Whitecaps lead in the top of the first. The 1-2 pitch from DeVito is swung on, and a high fly ball foul down the third base line, now to play. Cameron Eden plants his back foot in the right-hander's batter's box. 2 outs, top of the first inning. As Franklin leads off second, the 1-2 pitch, breaking ball misses just upstairs, and the count even at 2-2.
Well, Eden doing a good job laying off a couple cuff pitches there. He'll work it back to 2 balls and 2 strikes now.
The 2-2 from DeVito. Swung on and missed. Struck him out. Eden goes down, swinging the second strikeout of the game from Ricky DeVito. After the top of the first inning, the Brewster Whitecaps score one and strand one. It's the Whitecaps 1 and the Mariners nothing. You're listening to Mariners Baseball on the Harwich Mariners Radio Network. Cape Cod Healthcare is the leading provider of healthcare services for residents and visitors of Cape Cod, with 2 acute care hospitals and more than 450 physicians. For more information, please visit capecodhealth.org. Cape Cod Healthcare, expert physicians, quality hospitals, superior care. Hello and welcome back inside White House Field in the bottom half of the first inning. Harwich Mariners trail this game 1-0 to the Brewster Whitecaps. And Thomas, take us around the diamond for the Brewster Whitecaps.
So Canzone starting out in left field, Hunter Bishop out in center, Ray Haleo over in right, Connor Gramerson at third, Gage Workham at short, Cameron Eden at second base, Franklin over first, and Christian Malfetta doing the catching for the starting pitcher, Zach Lingenfelter.
And the first pitch to the leadoff hitter, Tanner Morris, misses outside for ball 1. And the starting lineup for the Harwich Mariners, batting first and playing shortstop is Tanner Morris. Batting second and playing center field, Chris Galland, as the 1-0 pitch is cut on and missed. And the count 1-1. Batting third and playing third base, Aaron Schunk. Batting fourth and playing first base, Andre Lipsius. Batting fifth and playing second base, Danny Casals. Batting sixth and playing right field, Ben Norman. As the 1-1 pitch is a fastball in the outside corner for strike 2. Batting seventh, the designated hitter is Brad Debo. Batting eighth and doing the catching, Logan Driscoll. And closing out the order and playing left field is Nate Eichhoff. The 1-2 pitch fouled right back over towards us in the booth. And the count remains 1-2. Tanner Morris takes a practice swing in the left-hander's batter's box. The 1-2 pitch is swung on and fouled off down the third base side. And Zach Lingenfelter, so far this season, has struggled with his command.
Yeah, Lingenfelter, that's one thing if you can pick up out of him. That's why his ERA is a little bit higher than what it could be. He's a guy that can really strike guys out with the fastball curveball mix.
And the 1-2 pitch, breaking ball misses low, and the count even at 2-2.
And Morris so far, he's gotten to hit back-to-back games in the leadoff spot, so he's done a great job taking over the top of the order.
Now the 2-2 offering from Lingenfelter misses a couple of feet in front of home plate. And the count runs full at 3-2. Tanner Morris will be this week's guest on Mariners Monday. We'll discuss everything, including Fenway Park and his time at UVA, becoming the leadoff hitter there. As the payoff pitch swung on and fouled off down the third base side once again. Count remains full. Will be pitch number 9 of the at-bat to Tanner Morris. In his 21 games this season, he has reached base in each one. The 3-2 pitch swung on and a high chopper down the first base line, foul.
Yeah, that's actually almost kicked. It hit off the grass, but it could have easily kicked into fair territory. So good job of Morris recognizing that and running the whole play out. Especially here on the Cape, you never know, especially these fields, where the ball could kick. Especially back in Brewster, Stony Brook, a lot of interesting hops over there and balls on the infield grass, off the lips. I mean, balls are bouncing everywhere.
Morris steps out from the left side. Will dig back in, tap home plate a couple of times. The 10th pitch of the at-bat is swung on, a high pop-up into shallow left field. The left fielder, Canzone, moves in and makes the catch for the first out of the inning. So there's one away in the bottom half of the first inning. Morris worked a really nice at-bat, though. One of only a few players we've seen this year on Cape Cod who worked double digits in pitches in that at-bat.
Yeah, that's what you want out of the leadoff guy. We'll see a lot of pitches, especially the first spat of the game. Really kind of slow, and now Lingenfelter pitch count maybe a little bit higher than what it could have been. Morris flying off a couple tough pitches.
And Chris Gallen digs in from the right side, shows bunt at the first pitch, pulls back as it misses outside, and the count 1 ball and no strikes to the speedy center fielder.
It also helps the guys on the bench too, maybe watching, seeing what Lingenfelter will feature.
The 1-0 pitch swung on and lined foul down the third base line. It was awfully close.
It almost hit the line, just maybe a couple inches off, an inch or two off from being fair, and that would have been definitely extra bases for Gallen with his speed.
My initial reaction is that that ball bounced in fair territory, but call on the field is foul down the third base line. Base path's empty, 1 out, bottom of the first inning, 1-0 Whitecaps lead. The 1-1 pitch is swung on, a line drive into center field for a base hit. As Chris Gallen continues to hit well at the plate. And as a very speedy runner, he's got an opportunity to make that single into extra bases.
Yeah, and Gallen made up for that foul ball to the line, able to put one in play and find the grass out there in the outfield. He has been struggling as of late, so it's great to see him get a base knock here in the first inning.
And Aaron Shunk, a big hitter, was in the 3 spot in the Mariners order and has really made that his home ever since he arrived on Cape Cod. He started the season on an 11-game hit streak, although that was snapped as the first pitch misses low and outside for ball 1. Gallen leads off first base with 1 out. Lingenfelter comes set. The 1-0 offering. Swung on, a ground ball down the third base line for a base hit. It gets by the diving Gramis. Rounding second base and pulling on the brakes is Chris Gallen. So they're only runners on first and second. Looked like that could be extra bases for Aaron Shunk. But Gallen wasn't even able to make it over to third base.
No, I don't think it would have been a close play. Canzone got the ball pretty quick, and it was right in line with the line, so it would have been a pretty much easy throw for Canzone to get Gallen. So I think just trying to play it safe here as Coach Pascaros hold him up at second base. You know, you get the hard lineup, especially with Lipsius, the way he's been swinging the bat. He drove in a sac fly in just yesterday, so he's a guy that can really, he's been hitting the ball well off the bat so far.
You mentioned Andre Lipsius, the cleanup hitter, who stands in from the right side. Runners on first and second, 1 out in the bottom of the first inning. The Whitecaps struck first in the top half of the first as the first pitch is cut on and fouled off down the third base line. Whitecaps scored their run with 2 outs in the top of the first inning with a passed ball, as Dominic Canzone was able to score from third base.
And on the last plate appearance by Shunk, it was a tough break for Lingenfelter. Was able to get a ground ball, able to get Shunk to kind of rolling over, but it just went right down the line, and it was perfect placement by Shunk.
And the 0-1 delivery to Lipsius. Fastball on the inside corner. The count, no balls and 2 strikes. Lingenfelter gets a sign from Molfetta. The 0-2 pitch swung on, a high chopper down the third base line. Charging in his Gramus, the throw to first is in time. Beat Lipsius by a half a step, but during the process, Gallen advances to third and Shunk to second, so 2 runners in scoring position with 2 outs.
Right, nice play by Gramus over at third base. That could easily have been an infield hit. And doing a good job for the way that Brewster has struggled this season so far on the defensive end. Did a good job there to make a strong throw over there and an accurate throw as well to get Lipsius by step. And Lipsius is also able to move the runners over another 90 feet, so runners on second and third now.
Danny Casals has been a really good utility player for the Mariners this season, as the first pitch misses upstairs and outside. Played all around the infield and has also been a power threat when they've needed him to be so. Has 9 doubles already in the season, a triple and 2 home runs. That accounts for about 60% of his base hits, as the 1-0 pitch misses upstairs and out inside, and the count 2-0. When 60% of your hits are for extra bases, means your slugging percentage will be awfully high. It's Casals steps back into the right-hander's batter's box. 2 runners in scoring position as he looks to drive them in. The 2-0 pitch swung on, and a 1-hopper over towards short. Workman fields, throws on to first, and that'll do it. The end of 1 inning of play. The Brewster Whitecaps lead this game 1-0. The Mariners strand 2 runners on the base paths. You're listening to Mariners Baseball on the Harwich Mariners Radio Network. Top of the second inning from White House Field as the Harwich Mariners trail the Brewster Whitecaps 1-0. Center fielder Hunter Bishop will step into the left-hander's batter's box to lead things off. Mariners had 2 hits in the bottom of the first, but were unable to score a run as the first pitch is a fastball from DeVito on the inside corner. Count 0-1. It's Bishop, Martorano, and Workman. 6, 7, and 8 hitters due up as the 0-1 pitch misses outside, and the count even at 1 ball and 1 strike. 1-1 pitch. Cut on, and he gets a weak contact behind home plate. The count 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Yeah, Bishop was out in front of that pitch as that one hit off the knob of the barrel, off the edge.
And the 1-2 pitch swung on, the ground ball through the hole on the right side for a base hit, a seeing eye single off the bat of Hunter Bishop. And the leadoff runner's on in the top half of the second inning.
Number 37, the designated hitter from the University of North Carolina.
Just one of those balls that just gets to the infield on the right side, and it's almost like a broken bat off the edge of the barrel again from Hunter Bishop. This guy that's coming into this game struggling with only 197 batting average on the season, but found some success back at Arizona State.
And Brandon Martirano, who's just 1 for his last 11 at the plate, digs in from the right side. First pitch is a fastball missing outside, and the count 1-0. Hunter Bishop, although he's struggling at the plate, he actually has reached base in 10 of the last 11 games, which is pretty solid in that category. So he's finding ways to get on base, even if the average isn't showing it, as the 1-0 pitch is cut on and fouled off his inner left foot. Count 1-1. Martirano appears totally fine. So he digs back in from the right side. The 1-1 pitch swung on and fouled off. The runner Bishop was going on the play. May have been a hit and run.
A bad way for Brewster. They've maybe put another one across here, especially if they can try to put a couple runs up on Harwich. In the first couple innings could really do some damage. It's going to hurt for Harwich. Left 2 men on in score position last inning. Over the last 5 or 10 games, they're able to drive those guys in.
The 1-2 pitch. Check swing. Motion over to first. They say he doesn't go around. Count even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Ricky DeVito looking for that elusive first out in the top half of the second inning. 2-2 pitch misses low. Throw down a second is in time, and they got him. Really nice throw from Logan Driscoll to get Hunter Bishop going.
That's a really nice throw from his knees. He throws a missile down to second base on a one hopper. Nice throw. And if you're a catcher, if you can't get there in the air, a nice little hop is. Since he bounced it farther away from second base, it came in right in line, and all Casales had to do was put the glove down pretty much, an inch or two, and Bishop was caught stealing.
So after he's caught stealing, there's one away, base path's empty. 3-2 pitch. Well, they're no longer empty as Brandon Martirano walks. There's a runner on first base with 1 out.
It's walk number 2 already for Ricky DeVita here in the second inning. He does have 2 strikeouts, though.
Runner on first base, 1 out. Top of the second inning. 1-0 Whitecaps lead as Gage Workman, the shortstop, steps in from the left side. First pitch to Workman. Fastball cut on and missed. Count 0-1. Workman has no hits in each of his last 3 games. As the 0-1 pitch is a breaking ball. Right down the middle for strike 2, and the count no balls and 2 strikes to the left-handed hitter.
Yeah, so far that breaking ball has been working very well for DeVita. When he does miss, he just barely misses. Either it comes in just a bit high or it misses the inside or outside corner. Let's see if he goes back to it here, maybe on the outside edge.
The 0-2 pitch cut on and fouled off over towards the Brewster dugout. Count remains no balls and 2 strikes to the left-handed hitter. Both teams, the Mariners and the Whitecaps, have left-handed hitting shortstops. Of course, If you're a middle infielder, you always throw with the right hand, but sometimes they'll bat with the left. The 0-2 pitch, breaking ball, check swing. Does he go around? No, he did not.
And in Workman's case, he's a switch hitter.
Now the 1-2 pitch to Workman. Swung on a high fly ball to right center field. The right fielder moving back. That's Norman who makes the catch. On the run, and they're 2 away. Nice catch by Ben Norman, covering a lot of ground out there in right center field.
And that's why Angler puts a lot of speed out there in either, if not 2 positions, 3 positions. We can see Galland, Norman, and Gorski out there. But Norman out there in right field again today and really tracking that ball down. That was in the gap and able to make a nice grab out there.
So they're 2 away in the top half of the second inning. Brewster leads 1-0. They scored a run back in the top of the first. The first pitch to the 9-hitter, Christian Molfetta, misses outside for ball 1. Molfetta had a couple of base hits in last night's game. He came into yesterday's game hitting just 116, but he was able to get a couple of hits off the Harwich Mariners pitching staff as the 1-0 pitch is cut on and fouled off down the right field side. Again, yesterday's game did not have a real starting pitcher. It was Austin Wood, who is normally a reliever, who made a spot start yesterday, pitched 3 innings, allowed 2 runs versus these same Brewster Whitecaps. And Joe LaSorsa came in afterwards and shut down the Brewster Whitecaps. The Mariners went on to win last night's game 7-5. The 1-1 delivery. Fastball on the outside corner to Molfetta, and the count 1 ball and 2 strikes. It's an important out here for the Harwich Mariners. They can get Christian Molfetta because afterwards the top of the order comes back up for the Brewster Whitecaps, and this is a dangerous 1, 2, and 3 hitters. Dominic Canzone, 13 for his last 26 at the plate. The 1-2 pitch, swung on and line drive down the third base line, foul over towards the Mariners bullpen.
Just a little bit early on that one was Molfetta. If he was maybe a second later, would be able to pull that one down the third base line.
Runner on first base with 2 outs. The 1-2 pitch from DeVito. Breaking ball in there for strike 3. He gets Molfetta looking. And at the end of an inning and a half, the Mariners lead this game 1-0. The Mariners trail in this game 1-0. You're listening to Mariners Baseball on the Harwich Mariners Radio Network. The Beach House Grill at Chatham Bars Inn Resort and Spa is the perfect spot for a seaside lunch or evening clam bake. A proud member of leading hotels in the world. Bottom half of the second inning from White House Field, the Mariners trail the Brewster Whitecaps 1-0. And the Harwich Mariners have the 6, 7, and 8 hitters due up. Ben Norman, Brad Debo, and Logan Driscoll. Norman digs in from the left side. First pitch from Lingenfelter. Swung on, a foul ball down the third base line, fouling out of play. The 0-1 delivery. Swung on and fouled off behind home plate. And the count, no balls and 2 strikes on the 6 hitter, Ben Norman. Norman had a couple of base hits in last night's game, also drove in a couple of runs.
Nice to see Norman's bat starting to get going here.
0-2 pitch. Fastball runs upstairs in the count 1-2.
Usually, guy we get to see a lot of pitches. The guy sees a lot of pitches at the plate, kind of similar to kind of a Tanner Morris or Danica Sal's type of player that will get to see a lot of pitches in an at bat.
The 1-2 offering, cut on and fouled off to the backstop, and the count remains 1-2.
Seems like Norman has a new bat as well. As remember, he had a black barrel. Now he's kind of similar bat to Andre Lipsius.
It's the half black barrel it's in on the hands, and then it's a white barrel on the top.
Maybe it is Andre Lipsius' bat.
1-2 pitch. Cut on and a line drive towards left field. The left fielder, Canzone, takes a couple of steps back and makes the catch for the first out of the inning. It was a hard hit line drive off the bat of Norman. And Canzone froze for a second and then took a step back and made the catch.
He had to make a leaping grab. Well, the ball just continued to carry on Canzone, especially as a left-hander hit it out towards left field. It's going to tail just a bit from him, and still to make the good grab was Canzone.
So 1 away in the bottom half of the second inning. Brad Debo, the designated hitter in tonight's contest, digs in from the left side. First pitch, breaking ball at the knees for strike 1.
Debo had a nice double in his first at-bat yesterday. He roped one out to the right center field.
3-game hitting streak now for Brad Debo as the 0-1 pitch. Breaking ball misses low, and the count 1 ball and 1 strike. And we're seeing a lot more appearances for Brad Debo in that designated hitter spot. We saw him initially as a catcher only, and now as they mix in the other catchers with Driscoll and Meadows, he's seeing extra at-bats at the DH spot as the 1-1 pitch is a fastball that misses upstairs again, and the count 2 balls and 1 strike on the left-handed hitting catcher.
Well, especially when you're on a hot streak as Debo is, really get some good positive thoughts at the plate.
2-1 pitch, misses again. Above the letters. Debo ahead in the count, 3 balls and 1 strike. Base paths empty in the bottom half of the second inning. 1-0 Whitecaps lead. They scored that run back in the top of the first. 3-1 offering to Debo. Fastball at the belt. Count goes full at 3-2. Payoff pitch. Breaking ball misses just a little bit low for ball 4. And Brad Debo works a walk.
Really good at bat there by Brad Debo. It takes a very close pitch, which could have gone either way. Lingenfelter wanted that one. He walked around the mound once that one was thrown and didn't get the call, unfortunately for him. But the Mariners do have a base runner on now with one out.
And Logan Driscoll out of George Mason. The catcher digs in from the left side. First pitch, fastball swung on, a line drive into center field for a base hit. And the Mariners will go station to station as Brad Debo advances to second base.
Seems like Driscoll got a new bat as well. I think they're all jumping to whatever that brand that is. We'll have to see what that is, but it's working so far. Norman hit a nice line drive to left field. Now Driscoll, it's a single up the middle, so.
Yeah, very promising to see Driscoll line that ball at the middle for a base hit. He's had a couple of hits recently, but they were mostly of the infield variety. And that was a really strong piece of contact right back up the middle for a base hit. And now it's the 9-hitter, Nate Eichhoff, who has been a guy who's been on a lot of hot streaks and cold streaks throughout this season. First pitch is swung on and fouled off down the third base line out of play.
And especially when this bottom part of the lineup can really start to get hot, this line can be very dangerous because we know how top-down heavy it can be. But right now it's more top heavy, but those bottom order guys, Norman's been good at times, Eichhoff as well. Debo's starting to come around. Be very tough for a pitcher to maneuver around this lineup.
The 0-1 pitch to Eichhoff. Fastball in the inside corner. Eichhoff wasn't a fan of that call, but he falls behind in the count 0-2 nonetheless. Eichhoff started the season, did not have a hit in his first 28 at-bats, but then was 7 for his next 10 at the plate. So I mentioned a guy who has been either really hot or really cold. The 0-2 delivery. Breaking ball, gets a piece of it, he stays alive. In yesterday's game, Eichhoff had 2 base hits, had a couple of singles, ended up coming around and scoring a run back in the second inning.
Eichhoff did a good job yesterday, just kind of poking through balls through the holes and really going where the pitch was. He just threw his hands at it, really exploding the ball over part of the field.
The 0-2 delivery. Fastball on the outside corner for strike 3. Eichhoff goes down looking and doesn't like it for the second out of the bottom half of the second inning.
And that's tough as well because now there are 2 outs in this inning, and now it's up to Tanner Morris to score in a run. Remember, back in the first inning, the Mariners left runners on second and third and couldn't drive one in. They had 2 opportunities. As they had first and second, and 1 opportunity for runners on second and third, and they couldn't do so.
And Tanner Morris, left-handed hitting shortstop and leadoff hitter in the Harwich Mariners order. Kicks around some dirt in the left-hander's batter's box. First pitch, breaking ball misses upstairs in the count 1-0. Now the 1-0 delivery, swung on, a high fly ball to left field. Canzone going back to the track, and it's over his head, and it's going to go over the wall for an automatic double. And it scores 2 runs in the process. It's a 2 RBI double. Oh, let's see how they're going to call one player back. Driscoll's going to be headed back to third base, so it's a 1 RBI automatic double as it hops over the wall. Again, technically not a ground rule double. Ground rule double has a very specific rule. It has to be a double based on the ground rules of that specific ballpark. If the ball hops before the wall and then goes over, that is considered just an automatic double. So runners on second and third with 2 outs as the Harwich Mariners tie the game in the bottom half of the second inning. And still 2 runners in scoring position as Chris Gallant steps in from the right side. First pitch, misses upstairs and inside with a fastball. Count 1-0. And Lingenfelter will throw the fastball very hard. Mid-90s, sometimes 98. Will even touch 99, as I said earlier. The 1-0 delivery. Breaking ball misses low into the dirt, and the count 2 balls and no strikes. So it's Driscoll off of third base, Morris off of second. And Morris now extends his streak to 22 consecutive games when he has reached base safely. He has hits in 20 of those games. The other 2, he reached once on a walk and the other time on a hit by pitch. The 2-0 delivery. Fastball upstairs to Gallen, and the count 3-0 on the right-handed hitter.
And Lingenfelter really attacked these hitters with the fastball. It's just a matter if he can throw the slider for a strike, which so far he's been struggling at times with, as in this at bat.
.30 delivery. Well, that one just misses inside. It's a 4-pitch walk to Chris Gallen. The base is loaded with 2 outs in the bottom half of the second inning. Mariners still threatening.
Number 28, the third baseman.
This is big. This is who you exactly want in the batter's box right now if you're Coach Eggert. Aaron Shunk, who's been, I said before, driving runs in bunches.
Shunk actually had a streak earlier in the season when he had 9 consecutive games when he had an RBI. Bases loaded. Gallant off first, Morris off second, and Driscoll off third. As the first pitch is a fastball that misses upstairs, and now 5 consecutive balls from Zach Lingenfelter. The 1-0 pitch cut on and fouled off to the backstop. I think that pitch may have been a little bit inside, but Shunk swung at it nonetheless and fouled it off. And the count even at 1-1. A little surprised he swung, especially given the fact that Lingenfelter has had a hard time finding the zone this inning. Had pitched 5 consecutive balls.
Well, if he saw something good and figured to take a big hack at it, can drive in multiple runs with his bat.
The 1-1 pitch. Swung on, and a soft hit ground ball over towards short. Workman fields, throws on to first. It's in time. Mariners threatened a lot in the bottom half of the second inning. Only played 1 run at the end of 2 innings of play. It's a tie ball game from White House Field. You're listening to Mariners Baseball on the Harwich Mariners Radio Network. Welcome back in the top half of the third inning from White House Field as the Harwich Mariners and Brewster Whitecaps are now all square at one aside. Mariners tied the game in the bottom of the second as the leadoff hitter Dominic Canzone stands in from the left side. First pitch in there for strike one. It's back to the top of the order for the Brewster Whitecaps with Canzone, Alejo, and the three-hitter Franklin as the 0-1 pitch misses low and the count 1-1. And the 1-1 delivery. Swung on and a line drive foul over the Mariners dugout. Count 1 ball and 2 strikes. The 1-2 pitch. Swung on a ground ball over towards short. Morris fields. Toss across the diamond. And there's one away. Ground ball that was pretty close to the second base bag, but Morris was playing over in that direction and was able to make the play.
And Morris playing deep enough, able to make that play, and a little bit easier to play for a shortstop when he goes towards the left side. He's already getting his momentum over towards the first base side. So it's usually a routine play for a shortstop over there.
Ray Alejo, who's 0 for 1 in tonight's contest, digs in from the right side of home plate. First pitch, cut on a grounder over towards third base. Shunk fields, throws over to first. It's in time to get the speedy Alejo. And there's quickly 2 away in the top of the third.
Nice job by DeVito so far. Back-to-back ground balls induced by him. Yeah, look at a quick 2 up, 2 down so far. Looking for his first 1-2-3 inning of this game.
And Jesse Franklin kicks some dirt in the left-hander's batter's box. Restraps his batting gloves. And digs in. First pitch from DeVito. Fastball swung on a high pop-up foul and out of play down the third base line. One game in the top of the third. Base paths empty with 2 outs. And the 0-1 pitch misses low in the dirt and the count 1-1. And Franklin sets his feet back in the left-hander's batter's box. The 1-1 pitch swung on a high fly ball into shallow left field. Left fielder Eichhoff heading over now towards the line and makes the catch for the final out of the inning. A quick 1-2-3 inning from Ricky DeVito. And the game remains 1-1 after 2.5. You're listening to Mariners Baseball on the Harwich Mariners Radio Network. Earn a bachelor's or master's degree, complete a certificate, or take a single course through the Division of Continuing Education and Graduate Studies at Curry College. Classes run days, evenings, and weekdays in Milton and Plymouth. To learn more about programs in business, criminal justice, education, nursing, and more, visit www.curry.edu. Bottom half of the third inning from White House Field as the Harwich Mariners and Brewster Whitecaps are tied up at 1-1. The cleanup hitter, Andre Lipsius, steps in from the right side. First pitch from Lingenfelter. This is well upstairs and inside and hits him. And Lipsius seems like he's all right. As he's going to take his helmet and walk on over towards first base.
Yeah, pitch came right up and inside. I don't think it was obviously intentional. Again, these two guys, both from Tennessee, so I don't think one teammate wants to hurt another teammate back at college. I mean,
and Lipsius has some words for his teammate Lingenfelter. As he returns over to the first base bag. So runner on first with no outs in the bottom of the third inning. And next up will be Danny Casals, but short stoppage in play as the home plate umpire, Jean Putalo, has some words with the head coach of the Brewster Whitecaps.
I think Jamie Shevchik was maybe trying to argue that the ball might have hit the barrel of the bat, and so he did bring us back closer to kind of the shoulder area.
Ball came way up and inside. Fastball, too. It can't feel good when he's throwing 99. First pitch of Danny Casals swung on a high fly ball to right center field. The right fielder, Alejo, drifts over to right center to make the catch for the first out of the inning. So there's one away in the bottom half of the third inning. Runner on first base.
Number 19, the right fielder from the University of Iowa, Ben Norman.
And Ben Norman is out of Iowa, who has been a big piece of this Mariners outfield this season. Digs in from the left side of the plate. First pitch swung on, a ground ball over to short on a second for one, back on to first. It's a double play. They go 6-4-3 to end the bottom half of the third inning. Mariners strand one at the end of three. It's the Mariners one and the Whitecaps one. You're listening to Mariners Baseball on the Harwich Mariners Radio Network.
And we'll go back inside White House Field for the top half of the fourth inning. Game is knotted up at 1 so far. So far, the Mariners have 4 hits and 1 run, no errors. The visiting Brewster Whitecaps, 1 run on 2 hits. And leading things off is the third baseman out of Xavier, Connor Graham, is facing Ricky DeVito out of Seton Hall. Also, two Big East guys set this face off against each other. Righty-righty matchup. The first pitch from DeVito is a slow high chopper over towards third. Shunk fields it, throws across the diamond, and able to tire Connor Graham is on the first pitch here in the top half of the fourth inning.
Yeah, he deuces a high chopper over towards third base. Shunk does a nice job. He has to make a quick throw over towards first base. Ramis runs pretty well. And again, with the high chopper, provides him a little bit of extra time to try to get over to first base safely, but a strong throw from Shunk is in time.
So now with 1 out, it is the second baseman, Cameron, and we saw play shortstop yesterday. Now moving over to second base. Looks to start things off for the Whitecaps here in the top of the fourth. Righty-righty matchup. First pitch misses just down below the knees for a ball. On the right-handed hitting second baseman, Eden. And so far, Brewster Whitecaps, they're wearing their away aqua uniforms. And, of course, it's Red Shirt Friday here at White House Field. So wearing those specialty uniforms with their cream pants as the 1-0 pitch is swung on and missed.
Great tradition in the Cape Cod Baseball League. The home team always wears the red jerseys on Fridays for Military Appreciation Night.
And they wear their specialty camouflage Cape League hats as the 1-1 pitch is swung on a slow roller over towards the third base side, but a foul. So count is now 1 ball and 2 strikes on Eden. So sun's starting to set here from White House Field. It is 7:34 local time. As the home plate umpire Jim Butala will brush off home plate. Has some words with Eden, and we'll head back to behind Logan Driscoll behind home plate. So Eden steps back in. And the 1-2 pitch from DeVito comes inside as having to turn his back all the way around back to DeVito was Eden, and he just misses that one. Almost clipped his uniform, but the count is now 2 balls and 2 strikes. DeVito working quickly. The 2-2 pitch is swung on and just getting a piece with Eden as he chops it back to the screen, and they'll do the end at 2-2. As we mentioned earlier, Eden yesterday went 3 for 5 with an RBI and a run. So far, he struck out back in the first inning last time he faced DeVito.
And Eden has hit well at the plate recently, but he struggled in the field. He made a couple of errors in yesterday's game. Has the most errors in Cape Cod.
2-2 curveball swung on and missed, and Driscoll has to throw down a first base, and he's retired for out number 2. So Ricky DeVito now again picks up his 4th strikeout on the evening so far here in the top of the fourth. There are now 2 outs as this game is knotted up at 1-1.
Number 24.
As DeVito's now retired the last 7 hitters he has faced going back to the second inning. As now is the center fielder Hunter Bishop, who singled his first time around, looking to do the same here with 2 outs. Right-lefty matchup. DeVito from the windup. The first pitch is cut on and missed. DeVito took something off of that one. Oh, 1 pitch from DeVito is cut on and missed once more. Again, DeVito looking to go to that changeup maybe. His count is now 0-2 on Bishop. Good crowd on hand here in Harwich this evening. Going up and down the first and third base line. It's getting a little chilly though out, so we're going to see some blankets and sweatshirts starting to come out as the 0-2 pitch just misses the outside corner. Count is now 1 ball and 2 strikes on Bishop. So 2 outs here in the top of the fourth. Brewster and Harwich tied up at 1. DeVito looks to work another scoreless inning as the 1-2 pitch just missed a bit outside, as unable to squeeze it was the catcher Logan Driscoll. Count is now 2-2 on the center fielder. Saw Bishop yesterday go 0 for 3 with an RBI. He did have a sac fly. He scored one of the 5 runs for the Whitecaps yesterday in the loss as the 1-2 pitch again. Should be 2-2 pitch. Tries to nibble at the outside corner, but just misses once more. Count runs full.
We pitch number 60 of the evening for Ricky DeVito. Pitchers on Cape Cod generally have an 85 pitch count. So you can see him go into the 5th, possibly even later.
Payoff pitch, curveball, strike 3. Bishop thought he was going to take ball 4 and throws the barrel. He's in disagreement, but DeVito able to get another strikeout as he strikes out Eden Bishop to end the top half of the 4th inning. Make that number 5 for DeVito so far. And after 3.5, it is the Brewster Whitecaps 1 and the Harwich Mariners 1. Listen to Mariners Baseball on the Harwich Mariners Radio Network. And welcome back inside the White House field for the bottom half of the 4th inning. 7, 8, 9 hitters set to do work for the Mariners. And it's Brad Debo, Logan Driscoll, and Nate Eichhoff to open this half inning. Brad Debo will start things off from the left-handed batter's box. He's playing DH once again this evening. He was in that spot last night as well as he takes a first pitch fastball on the outside corner for a strike.
Brad Debo walked his first time up and came around to score the lone Mariners run.
As the 0-1 pitch from Lingenfelter. Tries to go back on the outer half of the plate, but just misses off for ball 1. So count is now 1 ball and 1 strike. Lingenfelter in his 4th inning of work has yielded 4 hits, 1 run, 1 earned, 2 walks, and 1 strikeout so far. As the 1-1 fastball is over the heart of plate at the knees for a strike. Count is 1 ball and 2 strikes on the DH out of NC State. The 1-2 pitch. Slider just misses down and in for a ball. County was back up at 2 balls and 2 strikes. And it was Brad Dibble yesterday who started off the 2nd inning with a double, and a Norman followed suit. As the 2-2 fastball runs tails outside for a ball. Count runs full on Debo. Again, getting that leadoff man on it is major key if you want to score some runs. As the payoff pitch to Debo. Outside corner, strike 3 fastball gets Debo looking.
Yeah, Debo can't believe the call from John Putalo. I think it may have been a little bit low, but it looked pretty good. Just at the knees, outer half of the plate. And Debo goes down looking.
So Lingenfelter picks up his 2nd punch out of the evening. And now with 1 out here in the bottom of the 4th, 1-1 ball game, and it is the catcher Logan Driscoll who had lined drive up the middle his first time out back in the 2nd inning. However, was stranded over at 3rd base. First pitch, check swing and did not go around, says the 3rd base umpire Bill Julie.
As the umpires in tonight's game, John Putalo behind home plate, Brian Troop at 1st, and Bill Julie at 3rd base.
Lingenfelter from the windup. The 1-0 pitch misses just a hair up in the zone for a ball. Count heads to 2-0 on the catcher out of George Mason.
And Driscoll, who has been hitting a lot of balls in the infield, has been beating some of them out as well for some base hits, but he had a nice piece of contact his first time up.
2-0 fastballs on the bottom part of the zone on the outside corner for a strike. Lindenfelter so far this inning has been spotting that fastball very well at the knees. Not giving these Mariners hitters a shot at putting in play. It's a 2-1 pitch. Slider in on the inside corner. Driscoll back out of the batter's box and will dig some dirt. So looks at the barrel. His bat will set to do work again as count is 2-2 on the catcher.
That was an awfully good pitch from Lingenfelter. May have been a little bit inside, but the slider ran in on the left-handed hitter.
2-2 pitch as Driscoll reaches for that one and just wants to make contact. He fouls it off towards the on-deck circle, and Nate Eichhoff on deck over there on the third base side. 2-2 count on Driscoll, however, here with one out in the bottom of the fourth. Nobody on for the Mariners so far. Right-lefty matchup, Lingenfelter from the windup. The 2-2 pitch is swung on and leached over towards the third base line. Fair ball as it gets past the diving third baseman, Gramis, and Driscoll will head over as it takes a strong turn at first base, but will stay there at first, and that is a one-out single for Logan Driscoll. And just like that, his bat has been coming around as of late, make that 2 singles already in this game and 2 at-bats for the catcher out of George Mason.
Yeah, he's really starting to heat up at the plate. Was not in the lineup last night, but he had a couple of base hits versus YD. Lined one up the middle for a base hit back in the second inning, and now has a ground ball down the third base line. And it's a nice job by the left fielder Canzone to get over to that ball quickly, which forces Driscoll to stay at first base with one out.
So with one out, here is the left-hander Eichhoff. He swings at the first pitch, grounds one over in between the hole between first and second. The diving Franklin can't get to it as Driscoll will head over towards third. The throw from Alejo is not in time as Driscoll advances from first to third. And what a heck of a job by Logan Driscoll. He gets on his horse and advances to third with a close play, but able to slide in there head first as he beats the throw.
Yeah, it's a seeing eye single from Nate Eichhoff through the right side. The second baseman, Eden and Franklin, both dove for that ball, trying to make a play on it, but it goes right between the two of them. It's a softly hit ground ball into right field, so Alejo, he got on his horse. He tried to get to that ball quickly, but by the time he was able to throw the ball over to third base, Driscoll dove in there safely.
A good throw from Alejo. Just couldn't quite get Driscoll. Serrano's in the corners with one out here in the bottom of the fourth with his leadoff hitter Tanner Morris as he swings the first pitch and lifts one up and out of play over on the third base side. As Tanner Morris has already driven the lone run this evening for the Mariners back in the second inning.
Had a double over to left field over the head of Canzone, who was playing pretty far in. Hit the warning track and then bounced over the wall for the automatic double.
So Morris has averaged up to 345 so far. He has 14 RBIs as the 0-1 pitch. Slaughter just misses on the inside half of the plate for ball one. Count evens back up at a 1-1 strike on the left-handed hitting shortstop out of Virginia. Morris kicks some dirt around the left side, waves his bat over towards Lingenfelter now. Lingenfelter comes set, he kicks and deals. The 1-1 pitch is chopped over towards the on-deck circle on the Brewster side, so count is 1-2 now.
After Eichhoff's base hit, 7 of the 9 players for the Harwich Mariners have reached base already, and they're just in the bottom half of the fourth inning. Only 2 who have not have been Casals and Norman.
Lingenfelter gets his side. He kicks and deals. The 1-2 pitch is a high chopper up the middle towards short. Fielding it is Workman. He steps on second, throw on to first. And that is a 6-3 unassisted double play as that gets the Whitecaps out of the inning. And after 4, score is still tied up at 1. You're listening to Mariners Baseball on the Harwich Mariners Radio Network. And welcome back inside White House Field for the top of the 5th here as game is tied up at 1, and Ricky DeVito back on the hill for the Mariners.
Yeah, Ricky DeVito has now retired 8 consecutive batters in this game. Back-to-back 1, 2, 3 innings, and retired the final 2 batters of the second as well.
And leading things off is Brandon Monterano from the right side. Over the top, curveball just misses a bit upstairs for ball 1.
And Brewster Whitecaps, the Harwich Mariners, it was tough. They were unable to score a run in the top half of the 5th inning, or bottom half of the 4th inning, when they had runners on the corners and just 1 out. And it's a tie game. Every run is so important in this contest.
And it's a 2-0 pitch to Monterano. Is swung off the edge of the barrel. He sends it out to shallow left center field. Will drop in for a base hit. As picking up his Eichhoff, will throw it back into Morris over at second base. And just like that, the Whitecaps have leadoff hitter on. As so far, the Mariners have left 7 men on base and only 1 run to show for. As they do have 6 hits on the evening. They're out hitting the Whitecaps 6-2. So Monterano's on for the second time this evening. He walked back in the second inning. And now is the switch hitting shortstop Gage Workman. He'll dig in from the left side, facing the right-handed pitcher Ricky DeVito. DeVito is from the stretch now with Monterano over at first. Workman flew out his first time out. Right-lefty matchup. The first pitch is swung on and fouled over the press box area for strike 1. So before the Whitecaps lost yesterday to the Mariners, they had won 2 in a row. So looking to get back on the right track here.
The Mariners now winners of 2 consecutive games. Beat the Orleans Firebirds on the road, and then the Whitecaps in Brewster.
As the 0-1 pitch is swung on and lifted out towards the hill over on the third base side, out of play. Count is 0-2 on Workman.
Mariners return home tomorrow versus Chatham. Mariners are 0-3 versus Chatham so far this season. Looking to turn things around in that department.
And currently 1 point behind Chatham for second place. Right now Harwich is in third. As the 0-2 pitch to Workman up inside. Able to bite. That was a good spot from DeVito as he just misses. As Workman was able to lay off.
The Mariners are 7-0 against the 4 and 5 teams in the East Division. They're 0-7 against the 1 and 2 teams.
Something Mariners will have to work on here as we hit towards the latter half towards the playoffs. It's the 1-2 pitch to Workman just reaching for is a curveball. And it bounces right over towards the coaches over there and goes right over the dugout area out of play. So count remains 1 ball and 2 strikes. It was played pinball over there on the Mariners dugout area. As Workman will dig back in from the left side. DeVito shakes it off. Drizzle gets his sign and looks over back at first at Monterano. A 1-2 pitch. Speed just runs a bit inside for a ball. It's a good place if you want to tie up a hitter, especially left-hander. But Monterano still doesn't bite it down. His count is 2 balls and 2 strikes now. Monterano plays his college ball at UNC. It's a 2-2 pitch. This is low and outside for a ball. Actually, not Gage Workman. Workman out of ASU. Coming into this contest with a 135 batting average, only 7 for 52. 7 for 53 now with his 1 at bat, trying to change things here. The 3-2 and no outs. Fastball outside corner, and he gets Gage Workman looking at a fastball. And that's another punch out for Ricky DeVito.
6 strikeouts on the day now for DeVito. So he continues to retire these Brewster hitters. And ever since that first inning, he's looked really sharp on the mound.
He's a guy coming in that really had some good stuff. Again, out of Seton Hall, as he'll now face the 9-hole hitter, the catcher Christian Malfetta, with 1 out, runner on first.
A 1.88 ERA back at Seton Hall.
Second team All-American this year. First team All-Big East, and he was the pitcher of the year, as you mentioned before, in the Big East. First pitch swung on and missed by Malfetta. Count is 0-1. Actually, in Big East play, his ERA was under 1.
And Thomas, for the Mariners, Ricky DeVito has held up his end of the bargain. Now they have to get the bats going offensively.
One pitch to Malfetta, catches the inside black of the plate for strike 2. Count is 0-2 on Malfetta now. Malfetta struck out his first time out. Look, doesn't want to be a strikeout victim again, as he's down the count 0-2 to DeVito. So 1 out here. The top of the 5th. 1-1 ball game. Swung on and missed. Pitch out of the zone. And Malfetta chases that fastball on the outside plate. As now it's back-to-back strikeouts for DeVito. As Malfetta goes down for the second time this evening. And now coming back around to the top of the order is the left fielder Dominic Canzone, who so far has singled and grounded out back in the 3rd. So Canzone will get set from the left side with 2 outs here in the top of the 5th. Moderano on first after his leadoff single. First pitch swung on and missed. Big swing and a miss as DeVito throws my first pitch curveball.
Yeah, DeVito has not been afraid to work backwards in the count, starting off with that curveball and finishing with the fastball.
DeVito comes set. The 0-1 pitch runs low and outside for a ball as Driscoll's able to nab that one. The glove side. Count is 1 ball and 1 strike now on the leadoff hitter out of Ohio State. Don't see a lot of Ohio State, a lot of guys that come out here to the Cape. DeVito throws over towards first base, and back in safely, diving head first, is Moderano. The only one from Ohio State I can think for is Ronnie Dawson, who's now in the Astros system. Played a couple summers ago back in Orleans. 1-1 pitch is swung on and lined out towards center field. Coming in is Gallen, but will drop right in front of him. As a strong throw back into Morris, cut off towards third, keeps Moderano over at second base. So runners on first and second now with 2 outs as the Whitecaps trying to get a 2-out rally going on here. As now they have a man in scoring position, and is the right fielder Ray Alejo, who tries to drive in a run for the Whitecaps here in the top of the 5th as this game is tied up, and they try to retake the lead here as they score the first run at the top of the 1st, and then the Mariners answered back with a run of their own in the bottom of the 2nd. So 2 outs is the right fielder from the right side, Ray Alejo. Ready matchup. First pitch is swung on and a hard ground over towards first base. Lipsius fields it, flip on DeVito. And now we'll retire the Whitecaps here in the top of the 5th as the Whitecaps leave 2 men on. Runners on first and second as DeVito gets out of the inning. Game is still tied at 1 between the Mariners and the Whitecaps. Listen to Mariners baseball on the Harwich Mariners Radio Network. Welcome back in White House Field for the latter half of the 5th inning. It is the 2-3-4 hitters for the Mariners, and Chris Gallant steps in from the right side. As Lingenfelter will try to get through 5 innings of work here. Pitch count around 77 pitches. As showing bunt there was Gallant, and it hits him, and he will dig over towards first base, but Hope Park going to top things over now. So it's a foul ball.
Well, we're going to have to see here because Gallen's going to take off his batting gloves. I don't know if you remember last time, Thomas, when the player took off the batting gloves and showed the home plate umpire, he awarded the batter first base. Now, I think the biggest issue here is that Gallen squared around a bunt and never pulled back the bunt, so it would have been a strike. And if you swing and miss and the ball hits you, it's a dead ball, but it's a swinging strike. So you're not going to get first base. And I think the problem was that he went around. It definitely hit him in the finger. I don't think that's the question. I think the question is whether or not he actually went around.
It was close. I thought he might have been able to pull it back in time, but it was a bang play. And if you're Gallen, you play it perfectly. You just start jogging down the first base line until the umpire says something.
And Jim Putolo called him back.
So count as no ball and 1 strike on Gallen as he restraps his batting gloves. As he has a few words with the home plate umpire, Putala.
I think it was a good move for him to take off the batting glove, try to show him.
As a curveball plunks him this time. And now you know he's going towards first base. And Lingenfelter, his second time now, he's plunked a Mariners hitter.
I wanted a bit of a more comfortable spot in the upper arm. Not that it's ever comfortable to be hit by a pitch, but when you get hit in the upper arm as opposed to the hand, there's a little bit more meat. You're not going to be feeling quite as much pain, more like a dead arm as opposed to very injured fingers sometimes when you hit in those hands.
Yeah, it might leave a mark tomorrow morning, but it's better than a finger or a toe. Toe is not a favorable spot to get hit, as Sandy Leone, yesterday, catcher for the Red Sox, got hit by a foul ball in the toe. As the first pitch is swung on by Shunk over towards shortstop, flip on to second, gets Gallant back on to first. Is in time, a 6-4-3 double play. Turn from Workman to Eden to Franklin. As now they're quick 2 outs here in the bottom half of the 5th inning, as the Mariners had a leadoff guy on, but now they don't.
And yet another double play from the Harwich Mariners. When the Mariners have had a few of these already. Ben Norman ground into one of them. Tanner Morris had one last inning, so now 3 consecutive innings where batters have grounded into double plays.
So now nobody on at 2 outs. First pitch to Andre Lipsius, misses low inside, and he was hit by pitches last time out, and when a pitch came up and in. Again, these two guys, teammates, Lingenfelter and Lipsius, teammates back at Tennessee, as the 1-0 pitch is swung on and lifted out toward shallow right center field. However, the second baseman, Eden, ranges to his back left, and he'll make the catch. And just like that, a 1-2-3 inning for the Brewster Whitecaps, as after 5, it is a score of 1-1. Listening to Mariners Baseball on the Horace Mariners Radio Network. Welcome back inside the broadcast booth from White House Field. Still a 1-1 ball game between the Brewster Whitecaps and the Harwich Mariners. Here in the top of the sixth, Ricky DeVito back on the hill for the Mariners. He will face the hard order, the 3-4-5 hitters. Jesse Franklin off hitter rolls over a fastball towards the first base coach's box area and foul.
And Ricky DeVito has now thrown 78 pitches on the evening for the Harwich Mariners. And you have to wonder how long that leash is. Well, Tom Sutera is warming up in the Mariners bullpen. Mariners have generally held their starters to 85 pitches. Although from time to time you'll see them work into the low 90s. So we'll have to see if DeVito is an exception and can possibly go into the low 90s if he pitches a 15-pitch inning or so.
1-1 curveball finishes on the inside corner at the knees for a strike. Count is now 1-2 on the first baseman, Jesse Franklin. Franklin so far is 0 for 1. He has a walk to his name. He walked back in the first inning. 1-2 pitches. Swung on and missed, and Franklin goes down on strikes. And Driscoll will now throw it around. Has another punch out for Ricky DeVito.
Number 29, the third baseman.
Make that number 8 now for DeVito. And make that 3 in a row going back to last inning. He struck out Workman Malfetta to end the 5th inning. Or excuse me, that was 2 back in the 5th inning. Didn't end the inning on that, but so now with 1 out here in the top of the 6th. 1-1 ball game between the Whitecaps and the Mariners. Stepping in now is Connor Gramis, the third baseman. Check swing pitch. Bounces in for a ball on the third baseman out of Xavier. 0 for 2 this evening. Came in with a .326 average and has seen that drop just a bit here as the 1-0 pitch is rolled over towards the ball boys over on the Harwich side as they take cover down there. County back up at 1 ball and 1 strike. Ready matchup. DeVito. He comes from the windup. The 1-1 pitch. Fastball runs up over, bit upstairs as Gramis ducked for that pitch.
That pitch was near eye level on Gramis, but it didn't come all that up much inside. It was maybe a few inches to the left of home plate towards the right-hander's batter's box, but not too far off the plate. It was just way high.
A 2-1 pitch from DeVito swung on and hammered out towards left center field. Gallen moving over to his right side and left center gap and able to make the catch on the run. So a hard hit ball by Gramis in the gap, but Gallen's able to chase it down. And now there are 2 outs here in the top half of the 6th inning.
Well done by Gallen. It shows how important that speed is out in center field. You always want a fast center fielder because he can cover the ground in right center and in left center field. In that case, a high fly ball to left center, and Gallen jumped on his horse and made a nice catch.
Yeah, he'll make a nice read out there and just run right to the spot, and Rainer actually threw it as he made the catch on the run. So with 2 outs now, it is Cameron Eden, the second baseman, with a pair of strikeouts this inning. He swings to the first pitch, and lines went softly out towards right center field. And they'll drop it right in front of the right fielder Norman for a base hit. So a 2-out knock for the second baseman. He's on board for the first time this evening. So with 2 outs now, it is the center fielder Hunter Bishop. As the Whitecaps try to get a 2-out rally going on here, and DeVito's pitch out continues to climb here.
Well, he's reached 85, which is the normal limit. I think they're going to let him face another batter, maybe even 2, try to get out of the top of the 6th inning.
Righty lefty matchup. First pitch, off-speed pitch spot on the outer half of the plate for strike 1 on Bishop. Bishop has singled back in the 2nd inning and then struck out in the 4th. And trying to do some damage here in the 6th inning as the ball game is tied up at 1-1 apiece. DeVito looks over towards first base that inning. He comes set. The 0-1 pitch is cut on and missed. A big swing of the miss as Bishop goes down to 1 knee on that one. A nasty pitch by DeVito. Count is now no ball and 2 strikes on the center fielder. DeVito looks in to Driscoll for the sign. He gets it now. Comes set from the belt. The 0-2 pitch. Cut on and flat out towards center field. Gallen moving back a few steps to his right, able to make the catch. And just like that, the Whitecaps threat is halted right there. As after 5.5, it is still a 1-1 ball game between the Brewster Whitecaps and the Harwich Mariners. You listen to Mariners Baseball on the Harwich Mariners Radio Network. And welcome back inside the White House Field. As here in the bottom of the 6th, 1-1 ball game. New pitcher on the mound for the Brewster Whitecaps.
And new pitcher for the Brewster Whitecaps is Jacob Hennessy out of Clemson. He has a 1-2 record, a 4.24 ERA in 17 innings of work. As the Harwich Mariners look to get themselves on the board, and Thomas, Ricky DeVito held up his end of the bargain back in the top of the 6th inning. He goes 6 strong innings, allows 1 run, none earned, but this batting order hasn't gotten going yet at all.
Well, they left 7 men on, and Lingenfelter doing a good job today. Get to tip his hat to Lingenfelter as well, making some good pitches. As leading off is the right-hander second baseman, Danny Casals takes a first pitch fastball inside as he runs across the plate to avoid that one. The count is 1-0 on Casals.
Yeah, well, there's 7 players who are officially left on base. Another 3 batters who got out as part of a double play ball.
As the 1-0 pitch is skied up into shallow left center field. The left fielder Canzone calls off the shortstop Workman and camps under it for out number 1. So as he retires, the first batter he faces here in the bottom of the 6th as the Mariners look to try to break through and take the lead for the first time in this game as the game is tied at 1.
I was mentioning the double play balls. A double play back in the 3rd. Norman bounced into a 6-4-3 double play. Morris had a 6-3 double play and then a 6-4-3 double play from Shunk in the 5th. So 3 consecutive innings with double plays. Let's hope the Mariners don't have to have that happen again here in the 6th inning.
So now with 1 out, nobody on here in the bottom of the 6th. Let the matchup first pitch fastball bounced in the 3rd. Nice pick behind the plate by the catcher Malfetta. Count runs to 1 ball and no strike. On the right fielder this evening, Ben Norman out of Iowa. Working quick here as 1-0 pitch showing, but it was Norman, but takes a fastball on the outside edge of the plate for strike 1. So 1 ball, 1 strike on Norman. He's lined out and bounced into double play. As the 1-1 curveball misses low and outside as another good pick by Malfetta. Count is 2 balls and 1 strike now. Again, the Mariners have had their opportunities this evening. They've left a few men on with bases loaded, 2nd and 3rd situations, and the 2-1 pitches lofted out over the 3rd base bleachers. Count is now 2 balls and 2 strikes. So nobody on and 1 out here in the bottom of the 6th. Norman called time, and we'll get back in now to the left side. Lefty-lefty matchup, the 2-2 pitch. Pitch bounces to the dirt once more for a ball. Count now runs full on Norman. Again, Norman, one of those guys that can really work some deep counts here on the opposition, even if it counts as an out. As the payoff pitch of Norman is a high chopper over towards second baseman Eden. He picks it up on a 2-hopper, throw on a first. And the speedster Norman is retired for out number 2.
Number 35.
So the last hit that the Mariners recorded was a Logan Driscoll single back in the 4th inning. Although Gallen did reach last inning on a hit by pitch, but shunk right into a double play. So with 2 outs now, it is the left-handed hitting DH Brad Debo with 2 outs. First pitch curveball. It's just a bit high and tight on him for ball 1. Debo so far walked and scored and has struck out this evening as 1-0 pitch bounces in the dirt for ball 2. Count is 2-0 on Debo now. 2-0 pitch is swung on and a blue pit in the infield. That is back in Yazini. He makes a jump throw but loses the ball in midair. And Debo is able to get a 2-out single here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Would have been a tough play for Eden to make. And he tried to do a jump throw in the air, but just lost the ball in mid-flight.
Yeah, it's a ball that's a blooper. You mentioned it right over the second base bag. Eden fielding it on the backhand. You mentioned he was going to have to throw across the body. It was going to be a really, really difficult play for him to make at first base. And Debo has himself his first hit of the night, extends his hit streak to 4 games.
A nice pitch by Hennessy. Was able to jam Debo right on the hands. Maybe a 2-seam fastball running right in.
And Debo, the only Mariner to come around and score a run this evening.
His first pitch to the catcher, Logan Driscoll, is fouled up and out of play for strike 1.
Scored back in the 2nd inning as he drew a walk. Then a single from Driscoll advanced him to second base, and a double from Tanner Morris brought Debo around to score.
So 2 outs here in the 0-1 pitch to Driscoll. Was lined down the ground, but just foul. Just couldn't quite getting curvature with the bag over at first base, and the count is now 0-2 on Driscoll. So far this evening, he's 2 for 2. He's been one of the hotter bats in this Mariners lineup, and his bat has come alive. He's been swinging the stick a lot better in this evening's ball game against Brewster. Alvarez down the count to Hennessy. We'll have to let the match. The 0-2 pitch is swung on and laced out towards center fielder. As moving was Bishop a step or two, and then make a kind of a leaping grab in the air, but the Whitecaps able to retire Driscoll to end the 6th inning, and after 6, score is still 1-1. Listen to Mariners Baseball on the Harwich Mariners Radio Network.
Top half of the 7th inning from White House Field. This is a 1-1 ball game between the Brewster Whitecaps and the Harwich Mariners. Austin Rooney alongside Thomas Zinzarella. New pitcher on the mound for the Harwich Mariners. That is Tom Sutera. Sutera has been a workhorse for the Mariners this season. Wherever they've needed him, he's jumped in. Tom Sutera has an ERA of 2.84 in 19 innings of work. He's allowed 18 hits and 7 walks. He's done everything from make a spot start to pitch 4 innings in relief. And tonight he comes on in relief of the starting pitcher, Ricky DeVito. DeVito went 6 innings, allowed 1 unearned run, and was outstanding tonight, Thomas. What were your thoughts on his outing overall?
DeVito had a really good outing compared to what he did in Chatham. Now he's pitched more lately out of the starting pitching rotation. Now I think he's in the rotation now. Some of the departures from the starting rotation, so it's great to see DeVito in the rotation, starting to get acclimated to that. Pitched a really excellent game tonight, really keeping these Whitecaps hitters at bay.
And digging in from the right side is a designated hitter, Brandon Martirano. First pitch, fastball misses upstairs for ball 1. Martirano takes a practice swing from the right side. 1-0 pitch, fastball, misses low below the knees, and the count 2 balls and no strikes. Sutera has averaged a strikeout per inning, 19 strikeouts in 19 innings. As a 2-0 pitch runs upstairs and falls behind in the count 3-0.
Sutera's really been the workhorse for this Mariners team.
The 3-0 pitch. Breaking ball in there for strike 1. Count 3-1. The 3-1 delivery swung on and fouled off over the Brewster Whitecaps dugout, and the count 3-2. Base path's empty in the top of the 7th. Mariners and Whitecaps are tied at 1-1. And the 3-2 pitch, cut on a miss. Fastball gets Martirano swinging. There's one away in the top of the 7th, and great work by Tom Sutera. He falls behind in the count 3-0 and then works it back full and ends up striking out the designated hitter, Martirano.
Well, it just shows you have a lot of confidence on the mound. Able to work backwards in the count when you're down the count and able to work back into it. A couple of good pitches there to Martirano and gets a swing and a miss out of the zone. Really nice job there by Sutera.
It's the 8-hitter Workman, who digs in from the left side. First pitch swung on a high pop up into shallow center field. The shortstop Morris moves back out of the outfield grass and makes the catch. For the second out of the inning, the second baseman Casals, the shortstop Morris, center fielder Gallen, and left fielder Eichhoff all came in on that ball. And finally making the catch was Morris. Good communication.
Well, baseball is a game of communication, and just shows right there a lot of situations where if there are miscommunication, it can lead to base hits and those types of plays like that. You can't give a team multiple outs, and Morris able to call everybody off out in shallow left center field to make the catch.
And closing out the order, Christian Malfetta, the catcher. First pitch is cut on and fouled off out of play. Count 0-1. Mariners scored their run back in the bottom of the second inning as Devo came around to score on an RBI double off the bat of Tanner Morris. And the Whitecaps scored their run on a passed ball in the top of the first as the 0-1 delivery is in there for strike 2 in the count, or excuse me, misses for ball 1 in the count, 1 ball and 1 strike. And a 1-1 ball game from the top of the 7th inning. Base path's empty, 2 outs. 1-1 pitch swung on a high chopper over towards the Mariners dugout, and now the count is 1-2.
Great thing is right now the game is still tied. It's a Terra guy that can give you multiple innings. Guy that's been a starter And a long reliever this year.
And the 1-2 pitch. Swung on and a ground ball fouled on the third base side. Molfetta doing a nice job working Tom Sutera. And Sutera has just been so consistent as a reliever. They've relied heavily upon him whenever they've needed a long reliever, even someone just to get one out. As the 1-2 pitch, check swing, they say, goes around, and Molfetta goes down on strikes to end the top half of the 7th inning. A quick 1-2-3 inning from Tom Sutera. We head to the 7th inning stretch in a 1-1 ball game. You're listening to Mariners Baseball on the Harwich Mariners Radio Network. Bottom half of the 7th inning from White House Field as the Harwich Mariners and Brewster Whitecaps are tied at 1-1. Austin Rooney alongside Thomas Inzarella as Nate Eichhoff digs in from the left side and takes a strike on the outside corner. The 0-1 pitch, a breaking ball misses low, and the count 1 ball and 1 strike.
It's interesting, Adam. Nate Eichhoff's teammate back at UVA, former teammate Adam Hazley, drafted in the first round. Just had 2 home runs tonight in his first time in Double-A.
As the 1-1 pitch is swung on over towards the Mariners bullpen, and heading over there is the third baseman Canzone, but he's unable to make the catch. So it just goes down as a foul ball. Count 1 ball and 2 strikes to the left-handed hitter. So Eichhoff has another life in the left-hander's batter's box. No outs. Base path's empty as Eichhoff leads off the bottom of the 7th inning. 9-1 and 2 hitters up. 1-2 pitch, cut on, a ground ball over towards the second baseman, Eden. He fields, throws a one-hopper over towards first, and it's in time to get Eichhoff. Nice pick over at first base by Franklin.
Yeah, now Cameron Eden moved over from shortstop to second base this game, as you mentioned earlier. Made 2 errors in yesterday's game, so that might have warranted the move over there, and also maybe Gage Workman over at shortstop. So,
and now it's the leadoff hitter of the Mariners' order. It's Tanner Morris as the lone RBI in tonight's game. First pitch to Morris, fastball right down the middle for strike 1. The 0-1 delivery. Broken bat, cut on, and a line drive towards left field, but it's going to go foul towards the Mariners' bullpen. And the count 0-2. And Tanner Morris will need a new bat. Grabs it from the cleanup hitter, Andre Lipsius.
And just going back to what I mentioned earlier about his teammate back at UVA, both Eichhoff and Morris, and that's actually why Morris could have gone out of high school to the bigs, but he wanted to come play some college ball, like his teammate Adam Hazley and Pavin Smith, who played here for Harwich. Adam Hazley played for Orleans 2 years ago, and was both of them first-round draft picks.
0-2 pitch, cut on the high, pop up towards left field. The shortstop Workman moves back onto the outfield grass and makes the catch for the second out of the inning. A quick 2 up and 2 down from Jacob Hennessy, the left-handed relief pitcher for the Brewster Whitecaps.
And Hennessy out of Clemson, seen some of these guys maybe a few times, though. Eichhoff and Morris out of Virginia and the ACC.
And so is Chris Gallen from Boston College.
Brad Debo out of NC State, and some of these SEC guys might as well.
The right-handed hitter takes the first pitch and lines it back up the middle for a base hit right over the head of Jacob Hennessy. Was awfully close to hitting him.
Yeah, that could have been dangerous. It came zoomed right by Hennessy's head. And that could have been more dangerous.
Well, it's good to see everybody's okay. And Gallen's on first base. Now, it's an important situation for Gallen to be on first, because with his speed, we could see him try to steal second, put himself in scoring position, and maybe Aaron Shunk try to drive him in. First pitch, runner goes in there for a strike, throw it out a second, is not in time, but Gallen dives off the base and is tagged out on his leg. So Gallen got an outstanding jump, dove in safely, but he came off the bag and tagged out by the second baseman Eden to end the bottom half of the seventh inning. It's a 1-1 game from White House Field. You're listening to Mariners Baseball on the Harwich Mariners Radio Network. Top half of the eighth inning from White House Field in a 1-1 game between the Whitecaps and the Mariners. Austin Rooney alongside my broadcasting partner Thomas Cinzarella as the leadoff hitter Dominic Canzone digs in from the left side. First pitch from Sutera is swung on, a high fly ball to center field. Gallen moves over a couple of steps and makes the catch for the first out of the inning.
Yeah, I thought Gallen would have been out of juice there. He's so quick over from first to second. I think his foot just came off in the end, too. That's what ended the seventh inning.
Yeah, he was in there very easily. Got an outstanding jump. He is so quick with that first step. But unfortunately, he dove. I think the dive was maybe a little bit late, and he ended up diving and came off the bag. A nice awareness by Eden to apply the tag for the final out of the bottom of the seventh inning. And the first pitch to the two-hitter, Ray Alejo. in there for a strike. Alejo, a right-handed hitter, who's playing right field this evening. The 0-1 pitch. Fastball on the outside corner, and the count, no balls and 2 strikes. Base paths empty, top of the 8th inning. A 1-1 game between the Mariners and the Whitecaps. Whitecaps struck first in the top of the 1st inning. Mariners responded in the bottom of the 2nd, but this game has had little other offense since then. Just a couple of hits along the way, no runs. The 0-2 pitch. Breaking ball misses outside, and the count 1-2.
Now I think we're in the late innings now. There's a couple of those runners that the Mariners left on. If they could have capitalized maybe one more run, it made a big difference right now as the game is still tied at 1.
And the 1-2 pitch, check swing, it goes around, but the ball goes all the way to the backstop. Alejo now headed for second base. The throw to second is not in time. It's a drop third strikeout, and advancing all the way to second base is Ray Alejo. And give him credit for his awareness. He ran to first right out of the batter's box. Sprinted around first base, no hesitation, and into second. Now there's a runner in scoring position and 1 out after the Mariners get a strikeout. Not the most traditional ending to a strikeout, but nonetheless, Alejo's on second, and the Whitecaps have something cooking.
Yeah, no, that was Alejo's speed. He could have made it in there, and right out of the batter's box, you mentioned before, he just sprinted right out down the first base line, took a look, and just continued going around first into second base, and just being the throw over there at second.
Well, now it's the 3-hitter, and things don't get any easier as Jesse Franklin digs in from the left side. Runner on second base, 1 out, and Alejo is a very fast runner. First pitch swung on, a high pop-up foul and out of play, and the count 0-1. Count 0-1 on the left-handed hitter. The offering. It's a breaking ball that misses low and inside, and the count even at 1-1. And after Sutera worked a strikeout, Ray Alejo advanced all the way to second base because he got by the catcher Driscoll. It's one of those awkward situations where you have a pitcher who will throw a strikeout, the catcher unable to handle it, and the runner goes to first base. In this case, Alejo had enough awareness to go to second base.
And not something you see every day in baseball.
Last year, Jake Agnos had 4 strikeouts in an inning on a drop third strike, and then he struck out the side. Apart from that, one of only 80 pitchers, or only 80 pitchers have done it in the MLB. It's more rare than a no-hitter as the 1-1 pitch is swung on, a ground ball over to second base. Nicely fielded by the Casals, throws the first, is in time, but advancing to third is Ray Alejo. So they're 2 away in the top half of the 8th inning. It's a productive ground out from Jesse Franklin.
Well, it is a very productive ground out for Jesse Franklin. And now Alejo is able to move over towards third base with 2 outs over, but he's still at Base City's 100% chance he is scoring.
Connor Gramis, who was 0 for 3 in tonight's contest, looks to turn things around and give the Whitecaps a lead in the top of the 8th. The cleanup hitter digs in to the right-hander's batter's box. Alejo leads off of third base. First pitch. Breaking ball misses outside, and the count 1-0. This is Tom Sutera's inning. There is no one warming up in the Harwich Mariners bullpen. And it's very possible he'll try to return for the top of the ninth as well. The 1-0 delivery. Fastball in the outside corner. Count even at 1 ball and 1 strike. So Alejo stands on third base. He reached after a drop third strikeout as the ball got all the way to the backstop. And he got all the way to second on the strikeout. 1-1 pitch, breaking ball in the outside corner, and the count 1-2. He advanced to third and a ground out to first from Jesse Franklin. So 2 outs, runner on third base. 1-1 game from White House Field.
And over the last few games, there have been mistakes from the Mariners, but they haven't really added up. And in a close game like this, small mistakes can really become marginalized or maximized.
1-2 delivery, swung on and missed, breaking ball. Gets the cleanup hitter, Connor Gramis, swinging, and that'll do it for the top half of the 8th inning. After 7.5, it's the Mariners 1 and the Whitecaps 1. You're listening to Mariners Baseball on the Harwich Mariners Radio Network. Welcome back inside White House Field, bottom half of the 8th inning in a 1-1 game as the 3, 4, and 5 hitters are due up for the Harwich Mariners. Aaron Schunk, Andre Lipsius, and Danny Casals. First pitch to Schunk, swung on and fouled off over towards the Brewster Whitecaps dugout. Schunk steps out, now back into the right-hander's batter's box. First pitch from Hennessy. Swung on, a high fly ball into shallow center field. The center fielder, Bishop, moves in and makes the catch for the first out of the inning.
Going to cause some trouble. It's hit high up into the night sky, and we're coming down with it is Bishop. You know, balls can be lost in the lights. You've seen it before happen at White House Field.
Well, now it's the cleanup hitter, Andre Lipsius, out of Tennessee, the right-handed hitter. First pitch misses upstairs and outside. Count misses, and the pitch misses for ball 1. And the 1-0 pitch is swung on, a line drive down the third base line, foul. The count even at 1-1. Really solid contact from Andre Lipsius. If that ball was maybe 5 feet to the right, it would have been for extra bases. The 1-1 pitch, breaking ball misses low. Count 2-1.
Lipsius so far still searching for his first base hit. He did reach base on a hit by pitch.
A 2-1 delivery, swung on, a line drive into left field for a base hit. It's a 1-out single off the bat of Andre Lipsius. And the Harwich Mariners have something cooking in the bottom of the 8th.
That's a big base hit by Andre Lipsius. You know, they can move over to scoring position with either, you know, anything can happen, a pass ball or something small can come out here in the 8th inning and maybe move him over to second or a ground ball or something. Can move him over. This is the part of the lineup where you want to do it, around the heart of the lineup.
And Danny Casals, the right-handed hitter, steps in from the right side. Runner on first base, one out. First pitch, swung on a high pop-up towards the right side. Second baseman Eden moves out into the shallow right field grass and makes the catch. Quickly 2 away in the bottom half of the 8th inning.
And Casals is still searching for his first base hit this evening. He is now 0 for 4. But he has been a guy that has stepped up in big situations and big spots and has provided the Mariners with instant offense.
And Ben Norman digs in from the left side of the plate. First pitch is a breaking ball that misses low. Lipsius leads off first base with 2 outs in the bottom of the 8th inning. A 1-1 game between the Mariners and the Whitecaps. And warming up in the Harwich Mariners bullpen is Andrew Misiazik. So I think if the Mariners take the lead in the bottom of the 8th, I think we'll probably see him. If not, we may see Sutera for a 3rd inning of work. And a meeting at the mound for the Brewster Whitecaps.
It'll be picture perfect as if the Mariners can get a run here. The Misiazik comes out for the 9th. If not, we'll see what Coach Enger goes with here.
Two away in the bottom half of the 8th inning. Catcher returns behind home plate. Lipsius back to first. And Ben Norman, the left-handed hitter, steps back into the batter's box. 1-0 pitch on the outside corner for strike 1, and the count even at 1 ball and 1 strike. Harwich Mariners looking to take the lead in the bottom of the 8th inning. Tossing over to first base is the pitcher Hennessy, and easily back in is Lipsius. And tossing over again is the pitcher Hennessy. He wants to make sure Lipsius isn't going anywhere. And last time, Galland ran on the first pitch because he thought it would be less likely the pitcher would throw over.
And most pitchers don't think a runner would go on the first pitch, but Galland did.
Tossing over to first base again is Hennessy. 3 consecutive throws over to first base. Norman, the right fielder in tonight's contest, digs back in from the left side, and finally Hennessy throws towards home, but misses upstairs, and it's been quite a distraction for him to have Lipsius over on first base. You'd have to wonder if that affects his focus with the batter Norman.
Well, that's exactly what can happen. A pitcher worries more about the runner, not the hitter. Throws a couple balls to the hitter.
2-1 pitch, fastball on the outer half of the plate, and the count 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Able to bear back again, though, was Hennessy. Fire a strike in there. Hennessy's been pretty good tonight in relief. Only 3 hits allowed in 2 2/3 innings.
Hennessy comes set, the 2-2. Misses low in the dirt, and the count runs full at 3 balls and 2 strikes. Hennessy hit his target there, low and out of the zone, but Norman doesn't bite.
Big spot here for the Bears. If Norman can find a way on, Debo's on deck. He has a hit this evening, including his last at bat. He's reached base twice.
3-2 pitch, cut on, a line drive towards center field. On the run is Bishop, and he makes the catch for the final out of the inning. The Mariners strand 1, score none at the end of 8 innings of play. It's a 1-1 game. You're listening to Mariners Baseball on the Harwich Mariners Radio Network. top half of the 9th inning. 1-1 ball game from White House Field. Austin Rooney alongside my broadcasting partner Thomas Inzarella. And leading off the top half of the 9th inning is Cameron Eden, the 5-hitter. Who digs in from the right side. Tom Sudera back out for his 3rd inning of work. First pitch swung on, a high fly ball right over towards the right fielder Norman, who moves about 2 steps in and makes the catch for the first out of the inning.
Number 24, the center fielder.
So 1 away in the top half of the 9th inning. Hunter Bishop digs in from the left side. Bishop, the center fielder, he is 1 for 3, but was caught stealing second base. He taps home plate once, and it will be crucial for these teams to try to get runners into scoring position. And the first pitch, breaking ball cut on and missed. As the pitcher Sutera works backwards. If you're unfamiliar with the term, backwards meaning he starts off with the curveball and then working the fastball in afterwards.
And that curveball has been fooling Bishop all leading from any pitcher on the mound for the Mariners. He's gone down to one knee, almost one knee a couple times trying to hit that curveball.
The 0-1 delivery. Breaking ball at the knees in the count 0-2.
Because as a hitter, your job becomes a lot tougher when you can't hit the curveball, and then he comes right back with it and he throws it for a strike. You're in a kind of a no-luck situation there.
Wouldn't be surprised to see him throw 3 straight, try to get Bishop going. Throw it down and below the knees. He's going to have to think at some point he's going to go to the fastball, but he keeps with his curveball as the 0-2 pitch misses just outside. Another breaking ball. The count 1-2.
Until Bishop learns to lay off that curveball, I'll just keep going right out every single time. I'll throw it once more before you go back to the fastball.
Base path is empty, 1 out. The 1-2 pitch. This is low on the count 2-2. Still a healthy crowd on hand at White House Field, but it's not quite the size we had earlier in the night. As the 2-2 pitch swung on and missed, struck him out. Bishop goes down, swinging at a fastball. It was in the zone. He swung right underneath it, though, and there are 2 away in the top half of the 9th inning.
The designated hitter.
Well, Sutera's been awfully good this evening.
Martirano.
Just flexing right now. 2 2/3, still no hits, and make that punch out number 5 for Sutera.
And the only base runner he's allowed was Ray Alejo, and that was on a strikeout when he ended up going to second base because it got by the catcher, Logan Driscoll. Well, now it's a 7-hitter, Brandon Martirano, the designated hitter in this evening's contest.
Might have a bug in his eye
About
or something.
Step into the right-hander's batter's box, but then he had to take off his helmet. Maybe something in the helmet, maybe something in his eye. I'm not quite sure. Whatever the problem was, it's been solved as he now awaits the first pitch from Sutera. Here's the offering. Fastball in the outside corner for strike 1. And I think one of Sutera's strongest parts about his outing tonight has been his location. He's pitched his curveball, and it's always been down, oftentimes out of the zone. And then he's been using the fastball to paint the corners. As the 0-1 pitch, fastball misses just upstairs. The count even at 1 ball and 1 strike.
Yeah, as you want to put the curve at the knee level at the bottom of the zone, or you put it in the dirt and hope a guy goes fishing at it. When a guy throws his curveball at the knees, it becomes a lot harder for a hitter.
The 1-1 pitch swung on a line drive through the left side for a base hit. And there's a runner on first with 2 outs for the Brewster Whitecaps. And we'll have to see what the strategy is from the Whitecaps' perspective. Do they try to go with a pinch runner? Are they going to try to have Martirano try to steal second base?
Number 25, the shortstop from Arizona State, Gage Workman.
And Gage Workman looks to keep the rally alive for the Whitecaps in the top of the 9th. The 1-1 ball game from White House Field. Runner on first base with 2 outs as the 7-hitter Martirano lined a base hit into left field. The home plate umpire, John Patalo, calls time. Workman steps out, now back in from the left side. First pitch, fastball. Outside corner for strike one. Workman awaits the 0-1 offering as Martirano leads off first base. The pitch, breaking ball, check swing. Home plate umpire motions over to the third base umpire, Bill Julie, who says he does not go around. And the count even back at 1-1. And Sutera has to be wary about the runner on first, Martirano, but I think he has to be sure not to let that consume him. I think we saw a little bit of that with Jacob Hennessy when he was constantly throwing over to Andre Lipsius. 1-1 pitch, breaking ball cut on and missed, and the count 1-2.
Yeah, you always got to focus on the task at hand. That's why it's kind of hard as a pitcher sometimes with the runner on, especially when the runner means a lot as they go ahead and run for the Whitecaps over at first base. He still has a ways to go, but you always want to keep an eye on him because, again, if he can advance to second base, that would be key for the Whitecaps here.
Sutera looks back the runner at first. Now the 1-2 pitch. Breaking ball misses low and outside. And now the count back even at 2-2. Sutera, 36 pitches through 2 2/3 innings. His control has been strong. 25 strikes, just 11 balls. Workman, who's 0 for 3. Steps back in. Runner on first base, 2 outs. 2-2 pitch. Swung on and fouled off. Over towards the Mariners bullpen, now out of play. Count remains even at 2-2. Gage Workman, who has no hits in his last 3 games, again, doesn't have a hit tonight either.
He's been doing more with the glove this evening than the bat, but things can change here.
The 2-2 pitch, runner goes, misses upstairs, throw down a second. Is at the wrong side of second, but now the runner comes off and they tag him for the final out. The throw was to the third base side of second base. And Morris fielded the ball there. The throw was in time, but Morris had to go over and tag the runner, Martirano. Martirano, I believe his leg came off the base for a half second. Morris applied the tag, and that was it from the top of the 9th inning. So we'll step aside. It's a 1-1 game. We're headed to the bottom of the 9th. You're listening to Mariners Baseball on the Harwich Mariners Radio Network. Bottom of the 9th inning from White House Field as the Harwich Mariners and Brewster Whitecaps are tied at 1. Brad Debo digs in from the left side. I'm Austin Rooney alongside my broadcasting partner, Thomas Cinzarella. Glad to have you with us in this tight ball game. It's the first pitch. Misses low and outside to Debo for ball one. Mariners have had one walk-off win at White House Field. They'd look to do it again.
That was the Chris Gallen home run.
The 1-0 pitch misses low, and the count 2-0 to Brad Debo.
Of course, that was against Orleans right here. Just getting their second win against Orleans on the season.
It's Debo, Driscoll, and Eichhoff due up in the inning. The 2-0 pitch, fastball, the outside part of the plate for strike one. I mentioned Debo has a hit in this game. He is 1 for 2 with a walk as well. 2-1 pitch. That one right down the middle for strike two, and the count 2 balls and 2 strikes on the left-handed hitter. And Driscoll's also hit well today. He's 2 for 2. Eichhoff has a hit of his own. And the 2-2 pitch, fastball in the outside corner for strike 3. Brad Debo goes down looking, and there's one away in the bottom of the 9th inning.
Yeah, tough break for Debo and a tough break for the Mariners in general. As now leadoff man is out here in the 9th inning, and that's what you always want if you're the home team or the team that's trying to get a run. Get the leadoff man on, and things can't happen now. Not saying it's over yet. They still have plenty of opportunity, especially with the red-hot Logan Driscoll at the plate and Eichhoff as well.
And Logan Driscoll, you mentioned, has 2 hits today. Shows bunt, pulls back, and takes ball 1 outside. He lined a single up the middle his first time up. That was back in the bottom half of the 2nd inning. In the bottom of the 4th, he had a single down the 3rd base line. He reached 3rd base on both times, was not driven home either time. The 1-0 pitch swung on a high fly ball to left field. Canzone drifts over towards the line and makes the catch. It was only about 10 feet in front of the warning track as Logan Driscoll drove that ball a long ways the opposite field.
Yeah, when you need the win, it's not there, and that would have been, for most of the beginning of the season in June, the winds coming off the Atlantic are blowing the flag out towards left field, and today, the wind has been standstill, no wind at all.
Flags out in center field are absolutely motionless. 9-hitter Eichhoff steps in. First pitch swung on, a ground ball through the hole on the right side. The second baseman, Eden, was able to knock it down, that's all. So it's a base hit for Nate Eichhoff. The bottom half of the 9th inning.
And that's another 2-hit game for Eichhoff. Went 2 for 4 yesterday, and the win against Brewster now is 2 for 4 again in this game against Brewster. So, and in the series, he's 4 for 8. He's doing a great job.
Number 10, the shortstop from the University of Virginia.
Second hit of the game for Nate Eichhoff. He singled back in the 4th. But now it's back to the top of the order for the Harwich Mariners. First pitch to Morris. Fastball on the outside corner for strike 1. So, if this game is to go beyond 9 innings, there are extra innings through 12. After the 12th inning, if the game would remain tied, it would be ruled a tie. The 0-1 pitch, fastball on the outside corner, and the count 0-2. So it's Eichhoff off of first base, bottom of the 9th inning in a 1-1 game. Tossing over to first base to check on Eichhoff is the pitcher Hennessy. Hennessy has worked in long relief this evening. After 5 innings of work from the starter, Lingenfelter, and Hennessy came in as the 0-2 pitch misses outside, and the count 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Up here in the press box, there was a bet for $1,000 between our scoreboard operator and one of the younglings up here, so I don't know if that's me paid up or not.
1-2 pitch. Breaking ball in there for strike 3. Morris goes down looking to end the bottom of the 9th inning. So we head to extra innings. And a 1-1 game from White House Field again. We will play through 12 if needed. So you're listening to Mariners Baseball on the Harwich Mariners Radio Network. Extra innings from White House Field, a 1-1 game. It's the top of the 10th inning as the Harwich Mariners and Brewster Whitecaps are all square. I'm Austin Rooney alongside my broadcasting partner Thomas Inzarella. And Thomas, it's been a while since either of these two teams scored a run.
Yeah, again, it's been a long game since those runs were scored back in the first inning by Brewster advancing on a pass ball as Canzone able to score. And in the bottom of the second inning, it was the RBI double from Tanner Morris. And right now the Harwich Mariners are out hitting the Brewster Whitecaps 10-6. But in the run column, it is all square at 1.
Back out on the mound for his 4th inning of work is Tom Sutera. The first pitch is swung on and fouled off by the left-handed hitter, Gage Workman. Now, Workman was up at the plate in the bottom of the 9th, but Brandon Martirano was caught stealing second base. And the 0-1 delivery. Fastball upstairs, count even at 1 ball and 1 strike. If you're just joining us, as Thomas mentioned earlier, first run of the game was scored on the top of the first by Brewster on a pass ball. Second run of the game was from an RBI double from Tanner Morris. In the top half of the 10th inning, as this game will go as many as 12 if necessary, as the 1-1 pitch is cut on, a high pop-up foul and out of play. Workman restraps the batting gloves, steps back in from the left side. Base path's empty, no outs. Top of the 10th inning. It's the 8, 9, and 1 hitters. Workman, Molfetta, and if necessary, Canzone as well is the leadoff man. He'll be the 3rd hitter up in the order as the 1-2 pitch is swung on. A high pop-up in a shallow center field. Coming in is Gallen, and he gives way to Eichhoff. That was an awfully scary play out there in left field as Eichhoff and Gallen almost collided. But nonetheless, the batter, Workman, is retired. And Gallen was headed all the way over into left center field. Probably closer to left field, actually. And Eichhoff took a few more steps over, and neither one called the other off. And eventually, at the last second, Eichhoff came in and made the catch.
That was a dangerous play out there. We've seen once before. Gallen, I believe, Gorski before in right center colliding. And Gallen's going full with a full head of steam, was going into left center field. And the last second, Eichhoff called him off and able to get out of the way. Otherwise, if that dropped him for a base hit, Workman's over at second base. So,
well, it's the 9 hitter, Christian Molfetta, the catcher, was 0 for 3, struck out a couple of times already. Or, excuse me, Gage Workman. I apologize.
Pinch hitter Chris Wright.
Well, it's the pinch hitter, Chris Wright. It was Workman who flew out to left field and then did not get the signal for the pinch hitter. So first pitch is a check swing in there for strike 1 and the count 0-1. Now Chris Wright has not made an appearance in either of these two games. He's just 2 for his last 18 at the plate. As the 0-1 pitch, fastball on the inside half and the count 0-2.
Wright actually pitching yesterday's game. He's one of those two-way players that we've seen before on the Cape. A couple of those guys.
Yeah, exactly. He hasn't made an appearance at the plate. He made an appearance on the mound yesterday. The 0-2 delivery from Sutera. It's a breaking ball that misses way outside, and the count 1 ball and 2 strikes to the left-handed hitter, Chris Wright.
Wright did make 1 plate appearance against these Harwich Mariners back on July 4th. In the 8th inning, he struck out looking on 3 pitches. So,
and the 1-2 pitch misses low. And the count even at 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Wright's a native of Cumberland, Rhode Island. Plays his college ball right down the street at Bryant. And I always bring this up. But the fun fact is that he played on the Cumberland Little League World Series team that made all the way to Williamsport and was kind of made it very far in the tournament, was the underdog.
The 2-2 pitch. Fastball misses outside, and the count runs full at 3-2. Now, Sutera has allowed 1 base runner through 3 1/3 innings of work. It's been outstanding from him tonight. No runs. He allowed the 1 hit. That was a hit from Hunter Bishop, or I beg your pardon, Brandon Martirano, who was thrown out trying to steal second. So it's been 9 up and 9 down. The payoff pitch swung on and missed, struck him out. Chris Wright goes down, swinging for the second out of the top of the 10th.
So after Malfetta went 0 for 3 in the 9-hole spot, Wright comes in and pinch hits, and he also strikes out. So in the 9-hole spot, there has been 4 strikeouts total between 2 hitters.
Left fielder from Ohio State, number 14, Dominic Canzone.
And Dominic Canzone, the leadoff hitter in the Brewster Whitecaps order, digs in from the left side, taps home plate once, moves his bat in a circular motion. Base path's empty. A 1-1 game between the Mariners and the Whitecaps. Ever since the second inning, there's been no runs. As the first pitch is a breaking ball, swung on and missed, in the count 0-1. Brewster scored a run on the top of the 10th, the top of the first. Mariners responded in the bottom of the second. And there have been no runs over the past 7 innings of play. As we're currently in the top of the 10th, the 0-1 pitch, breaking ball misses low into the dirt. Count 1 ball and 1 strike on the left-handed hitter Dominic Canzone. Now Canzone is 2 for 4 in tonight's ball game. And now over his past 29 at-bats, he has 14 hits. He's red hot at the plate. This is not who the Mariners exactly want to be facing in the top of the 10th. And the 1-1 pitch swung on, a ground ball over towards second base. Casals fields, throws to first, and that will do it. Another 1-2-3 inning from Tom Sutera. It's 4 innings of work from the right-hander at the end of 9.5. We're headed to the bottom of the 10th. It's 1-1 from White House Field. Bottom half of the 10th inning from White House Field. It's a 1-1 game between the Mariners and the Whitecaps. Austin Rooney alongside Thomas Zanzarella. Glad to have you with us this evening for this extra innings game. It's the 2, 3, and 4 hitters due up for the Mariners, but first let's talk about Jacob Hennessy, whose night is now over as Jeff Criswell comes in. But Hennessy was outstanding this evening.
Yeah, Hennessy was superb, and he was unbelievable. He kept these Mariners bats at bay, and they just couldn't scratch anything across. They did get 4 hits off him, practically won an inning, but they just couldn't put anything together off Hennessy.
Well, Chris Gallant, who lined a single back up the middle his last time up, steps in from the right side. The first pitch to Gallant. Breaking ball outside, and the count 1 ball and no strikes. Now Criswell's out of Michigan, 5.40 ERA, 11 2/3 innings of work. He's allowed 12 hits, 7 earned runs. And the high number is 8 walks as the 1-0 pitch is swung on. A high pop-up down the first base line. The first baseman, Franklin, gives way to Eden, who makes the catch and foul ground for the first out of the inning.
Again, unfortunately for Gallen, who's been red hot at the plate. He had 2 hits coming in with a walk and hit by pitch, so he'd reached every at-bat so far. And with his speed, it's a great asset to have on the base pass and really wreak some havoc for both now the newly entered Joe Donovan at catcher and the pitcher as well.
And now it's time for Aaron Schunk to step in. Now Schunk is 1 for 4 on the evening. He had a base hit back in the first inning, but that's been all. He grounded into a double play in the fifth as the first pitch is swung on and fouled off down the right field side. He also grounded out to short and flew out to center. So, although he had the hit back in the first, it's been a bit of a tough night for him, and he's one of the most consistent hitters on this Mariners team.
We can change things here with one swing of the bat as well.
The 0-1 pitch to Shunk. Swung on and fouled off. The count 0-2.
Good curveball there from Crystal. Shunk just missing that one. Got a piece, though.
On deck is Andre Lipsius, who has reached base twice. Base path's empty, 1 out. Bottom of the 10th inning. Game still tied 1-1. The 0-2 delivery. Cut on and fouled off down the right field side, out of play. Now these games can go as many as 12 innings. At that point, the game would be ruled a tie. Each team receives 1 point in the standings for a tie, 2 points for a win, no points for a loss.
As of right now, Chatham is beating Orleans.
And the 0-2 pitch to Shunk misses low, and the count 1-2. Now that game's important, of course, because the Orleans Firebirds are fourth. They're quite a ways behind the Mariners, but the Chatham Anglers are just 1 point up on the Harwich Mariners. They're in second place. The 1-2 delivery swung on a one-hopper over towards short. Nicely fielded by Eden. He throws over to first. Forgets all about his tough fielding pass on Cape Cod where he had 10 errors. Makes a nice backhanded play over at second base on a hard ground ball. Or tossing over to first base. Nice play over at second.
Yeah, tonight's been a different Brewster defense. You know, back the first time these teams played back at Stony Brook July 4th, it really wasn't until a couple errors that really got things going for the Mariners, and that's what cost the Whitecaps. Even yesterday, there was 3 unearned runs and on defensive errors. So far, no errors for either side, and it's made a big difference.
Andre Lipsius, the right-handed hitter, takes the first pitch outside, and the count 1 ball and no strikes. 2 outs. Bottom of the 10th inning. Base paths are empty. It's the cleanup hitter, Andre Lipsius, who looks to keep the inning alive for the Harwich Mariners. The 1-0 delivery. Cut on and miss. Fastball a little bit outside. And the count even at 1-1.
Yeah, Lipsius took a big hack at that one. Really wanted to win this game for the Mariners in one swing at the bat. Fastball a little elevated up in the zone. Looked good to him.
The 1-1 pitch. Ooh, that one missed way upstairs and outside. It was all the way to the backstop, and the count 2-1.
Fellow broadcaster Bob Uger from Major League would say just a bit outside.
Maybe 3 or 4 feet. The 2-1. Misses low. Count 3 balls and 1 strike. Andre Lipsius digs into the right-hander's batter's box. 2 outs. Bottom of the 10th inning. On deck's Danny Casals. The 3-1 pitch swung on and missed. Count goes full at 3-2. Now Danny Casals had a 2-run home run versus Orleans in extra innings. And that gave the Mariners the win in that game. So
he loves Eldridge Park at both his home runs there, including one the last time out in the 9th inning. It really sealed the deal.
The 3-2 pitch to Lipsius. Swung on, and a ground ball over towards second base. Eden fielding on the backhand. Throw to first is in time. Nicely done by Eden, who is making great plays out in the field this evening. Was not so yesterday, but he's recovered this evening. The end of 10 innings of play. It's a 1-1 game from White House Field. We head to the 11th. You're listening to Mariners Baseball on the Harwich Mariners Radio Network. Welcome back inside White House Field. It is the top of the 11th inning, a 1-1 game. I'm Austin Rooney alongside my broadcasting partner Thomas Inzarella. We're glad you stuck with us through this long game as we're now in the top of the 11th. And the Brewster Whitecaps have Ray Alejo step into the right-hander's batter's box to lead things off. Now Alejo is one of only two batters who's reached base versus Tom Sutera, who is returning for his fourth inning of work. It was 6 innings out of DeVito, now 4 from Sutera. He reached base on a strikeout that got all the way to the backstop. And he was going 100% the full way. He actually reached second base as the first pitch to Ray Alejo was cut on and fouled off over towards the Mariners' bullpen. This is a recap of tonight's game. Back in the top of the first inning, the Brewster Whitecaps scored the first run. It was Dominic Canzone who came around to score on a passed ball. 0-1 pitch. Swung on a foul tip into the mitt of Logan Driscoll, but Driscoll drops the mitt, but the ball stays in the mitt, so it's still a caught foul tip. That would be an interesting call if it was on strike 3, but umpire, home plate John Putolo, takes the ball out of the mitt and tosses it back towards the pitcher Sutera. Leadoff man in the inning, Ray Alejo, steps back into the right-hander's batter's box. The 0-2. Breaking ball misses outside and low, and the count 1 ball and 2 strikes. The 2, 3, and 4 hitters due up for the Whitecaps. It's Alejo, followed by Jesse Franklin, and then Connor Gramis. The 1-2. Breaking ball, check swing. Motion over to third, and they say he goes around. So Alejo goes down on strikes to the chagrin of many Brewster Whitecaps fans who are yelling at the home plate umpire, John Putalo.
Number 8, the first baseman from the University of Michigan.
You can clearly see, I think, Jamie Shepchick up on his feet, and Tommy Weber, the bench coach, one of the assistant coaches as well, isn't very happy about it.
Well, now it's a 3-hitter, Jesse Franklin.
At least that call goes in favor of the Mariners.
Now Franklin has reached base once today. It was on a walk. Now it was all the way back in the first inning. His last 3 times up, blew out to left, struck out, and then grounded to second. All the way in the top of the 11th inning. Already 4 innings of work from Sutera after DeVito went 6. Sutera has allowed 1 hit tonight, 2 base runners, no walks. He's looked great no matter what happens from here. It's been a really impressive outing from Tom Sutera. The first pitch to the 3-hitter Freeman misses in the dirt, and the count 1 ball and no strikes.
Sutera's been excellent this evening, only the 1 hit allowed on 7 punch-outs out of 14 batters faced.
And he's thrown a total of 57 pitches through 4 1/3. So for the most part, keeping that pitch count down. We'll have to see how high his pitch count can go before the Mariners try to pull him, as the 1-0 pitch is low and outside, and the count 2 balls and no strikes. Now, of course, many of the starters have been held to that 85 pitch count. I can't imagine a reliever would go higher than that. And only 2 innings remaining, or an inning and 2/3, unless the Mariners are able to get a run in the bottom of the 11th inning, or the Brewster Whitecaps for that matter. And Mizyazik was warming up earlier, so wouldn't be surprised to see him come in in the top of the 12th. The 2-0 pitch is cut on, a high pop-up foul behind home plate. Out of play. Now Franklin taps each cleat with his bat. Now digs that back foot into the left-hander's batter's box. The 2-1 delivery. Check swing, misses just upstairs in the count, 3 balls and 1 strike. The pitch was awfully close, but just above the letters. In the count, 3 balls and 1 strike on the left-handed hitter Franklin. And again, the control has been good this evening. 38 strikes, 22 balls. That's close to the ratio of 2-to-1. It's where you want a pitcher to be. 3-1 pitch, misses low for ball 4. And it's the first walk issued of the evening from Tom Sutera. Goes out to Jesse Franklin.
Tough there for Sutera. Sutera has been excellent all evening long. He finally goes up his first walk. Now the Whitecaps have a base runner on here with 1 out.
Your attention, please. Now hitting for Brewster, number 38, from the University of North Carolina, Ike Freeman.
And Ike Freeman, who played in last night's game. It was a 9-hitter. It was 0 for 3 with a walk.
He's struggled mightily at the plate this season.
He is 080. This is batting average. First pitch to Freeman. Misses outside. Count 1 ball and no strikes to the right-handed hitter. It's kind of interesting they decided to pinch hit for him, but not only pinch hit for him, but take the cleanup hitter out of the game.
Especially if Grammis's pedigrees coming in. He's been hitting particularly well.
And the 1-0 pitch swung on, line drive into right field. So he starts to break out of that slump he's in. Just his 3rd hit of the season. So he lines that ball into right field. And now there are runners on first and second with 1 out. And Mizyazik starting to throw once again. Now, Logan Driscoll's having a chat with Tom Sutera. Now, I don't know how long his leash is, but now that he's over 60 pitches, you'd have to think it's pretty close. Now, pitching coach Steve Gruenberg is going to come out to the mound to have a chat with Sutera. Now, this means that Sutera is definitely not coming out of the game right now because the pitching coach would not replace the pitcher. He's just going to have a chat with him, try to calm him down, make sure they're on the same page. There are runners on first and second, so 1 runner in scoring position for the Brewster Whitecaps. And this is Tom Sutera, who's done an outstanding job this evening. He's allowed 2 base runners in the top of the 11th. This is his 5th inning of work tonight in relief for Ricky DeVito.
Yeah, no, it's been a great night for Sutera, although I won't be surprised either if Gruenberg comes back out and maybe in the middle of that bat he gets pulled because Mizyazik is warming pretty quickly down there. He's on rapid fire.
Yeah, I'm thinking if they get 1 more base runner or if he falls behind 2 or 3-0 in the count, I would not be surprised to see Mizyazik. Mizyazik has allowed just 1 earned run in 9 innings this season. He has served as the Mariners' closer for all intents and purposes. Or actually in 11 innings of work, 1 earned run allowed. And that earned run was barely even an earned run. It was a fly ball to left center field that Gallen lost in the lights. First pitch, misses upstairs to Cameron Eden. Count 1 ball and no strikes.
Eden did drive on a run yesterday for the Whitecaps. Looking to do the same here. Does have a single today. Looking to make it another one here.
1-0 delivery. Fastball at the knees and the count even at 1-1.
And there is still a lot of hope for the Mariners. Even though there's 2 men on with 1 out. They could still get a double play ball that could really get them out of this jam here.
Runners on first and second, 1 out. Top of the 11th inning. It's a 1-1 game between the Mariners and the Whitecaps. Austin Rooney alongside Thomas Zanzarella. Glad that you've joined us this evening. The 1-1 breaking ball on the outside corner for strike 2. And they count 1 ball and 2 strikes to the right-handed hitter, Cameron Eden. Now Eden has one hit this evening. He's 1 for 4, struck out twice, and flew out to right field. The 1-2. This is low into the dirt. And Logan Driscoll quick to jump to his feet to chase the runner at second base.
Yeah, good
Back to his back. That's Jesse Franklin.
Good stop by Driscoll. As a catcher right now, you're going to be a cat back there, especially on a curveball. It's going to be tailing away from Driscoll. Moves the body over to the right side. Puts the glove down and able to stop the ball because another 90 feet means a lot for Brewster. Just a sac fly could, give him the lead.
The 2-2 pitch. Breaking ball. Just missed off the inside corner. You could tell Sutera wanted strike 3, but the home plate umpire, John Patola, was not willing to ring him up.
That looked good. Caught a lot of the plate. Maybe it might have just missed, but.
So Franklin off second. Freeman off first. 1 out. Top of the 11th inning, it's a 1-1 ball game. And now stepping off the mound is Sutera to look back Jesse Franklin. And Andrew Miziazik continues to warm up down in the Mariners bullpen. I would think that unless Sutera is able to get the out here, this is going to be his last batter. The payoff pitch. Cut on and fouled off to the backstop, and the count remains 3-2.
Especially with the left-hander Hunter Bishop on deck. I think they go to Miziazik for matchups.
Well, Eden digs his back foot in from the right side. Pitch number 7 of the at-bat. Fastball cut on, a high fly ball foul down the first base side, now to play.
Eden doing a really good job here, fouling off a couple tough pitches thrown by Sutera. And now there's just basically a war of attrition here. Who will give in first, either the pitcher or the hitter? Sutera's going to overpower Eden, or Eden is going to tire Sutera and force him to throw a ball.
There's that, or possibly see if Eden will do something with the bat. 3-2 pitch, cut on and fouled off over towards the Mariners dugout. And the count remains 3 balls and 2 strikes. Sutera gets a sign from Driscoll. Eden taps home plate once. The 9th pitch of the at-bat. Swung on and fouled off again. We'll have double digits for this at-bat in the top of the 11th. This is the second at-bat in this game that's reached double digits. Now, interestingly enough, it was the first at-bat of the game that also did it. That was back with Tanner Morris. Or first Mariners at-bat, that is.
Just thinking back to what my baseball coach used to say, throw to the pitcher when he's like, throw a ground ball, kid, now, throw a ground ball, which I don't know how you could, but maybe a sinker or something if you had to throw a ground ball, or induce one.
Well, here's pitch number 10. Swung on a ground ball, foul down the third base line again.
That was a ground ball, but just foul. That's what you're hoping for if you're Coach England. After Sutera, get out of this jam here.
I think more importantly than even walking it, I think the biggest thing is Sutera, you can't allow a base hit here because that could score a run. But my oh my, Sutera has done an outstanding job in this count, staying alive, keeping with it. 3-2 count. The 11th pitch of the at-bat is swung on, a line drive into shallow right center field. It's a base hit, rounding third base and scoring is Jesse Franklin. It's a 2-1 Brewster Whitecaps lead in the top of the 11th inning. Their runners on first and third with one out. And after 8 innings in which neither team was able to put a run across home plate, the Brewster Whitecaps do it in the top of the 11th and take a 1-run lead.
Now, big hit there by Cameron. He finally wins the battle right there off of Tom Sutera. Able to kind of get one off the edge of the barrel, throw the hands at the barrel of the bat, or at the ball, throw the barrel at the bat, at the ball, and able to pull it out towards right center field. Nice piece of hitting there by Eden. Again.
And Coach Englert having a discussion with Tom Sutera. He says, well, great job tonight, but it's time to bring in Andrew Miziazik. And Sutera had 4 outstanding innings, and he leaves runners on the corners in this ball game. No matter what his final stat line is, it will not be indicative of how well he pitched this evening. It was 4 1/3 innings, only allows 1 earned run, a couple of hits. They can't ask for much more out of a relief guy like the Met.
No, exactly right. He pitched a heck of a ball game, especially coming in to keep this game as scoreless as it has been. With the bats not really doing enough, leaving guys on base this evening. Able to do a good job out there as home plate umpire comes out to the pitcher's mound. There is still a discussion.
Well, the Harwich Mariners bring in a new pitcher, Andrew Miziazik. We'll step aside as he warms up. You're listening to Mariners Baseball on the Harwich Mariners Radio Network. Top half of the 11th inning from White House Field, a 2-1 Brewster Whitecaps lead. They scored a run in the top of the 11th and gave them the 2-1 lead after no one had scored a run for the past 8 innings. First pitch misses outside. Now throw down a second from Driscoll. Back to third is not quite in time, as the runner at third base, Ike Freeman, just managed to get back to the bag in time.
It's almost like Brewster's trying to do a safety squeeze there. Try to manufacture another run. That's the only reason why I can think of why Freeman would be so far down the line, and showing bunt, that was Bishop. So
the 1-0 pitch showing bunt again. Ground ball right back to the pitcher. Now tossing to the plate. It's in time. They got him. So there are 2 away in the top half of the 11th inning. An outstanding job by Miziazik. A very poor bunt from Hunter Bishop as he bunted right back to Miziazik, who tossed home and recorded the second out of the inning. So there are 2 away in the top half of the 11th. A 2-1 Brewster Whitecaps lead. Runners on first and second.
Yeah, that's one place. If you're going to bunt the ball, don't bunt it back to the pitcher. Just made it too easy. He actually never even reached home plate. Good job of Logan Driscoll as your catcher. You want to block the runner from even reaching home plate. And he basically slid right into his shin guard and didn't even reach home plate.
Now, an interesting decision, though, by the runner on third, Freeman, to actually decide to go there because, well, there's a bunt back to the pitcher. One option could have been you see the bunts right there, you got to head back. Even though the play is designed to try to score you, you know you're going to be out by a mile if you try to score. Or maybe you just take a long lead off of third, and if they throw to first, you can then try your luck at home plate. First pitch misses inside, and the count 1 ball and no strikes on Brandon Martorano.
Well, unfortunately, I feel like you see that bunt, you got to go. It's just all on execution, all on commitment. And once that guy puts that ball down, you don't care where it's going to go. You're just going to, because I don't think he maybe saw him back to the pitcher. He just ran right on it once he saw him make contact.
The 1-0 pitch. Check swing now, throw down to second base, and it's going to get by Morris. Advancing over towards third is Eden. So Bishop now to second base. Now 2 runners in scoring position, and I got to be honest, I don't like that decision by the catcher Driscoll. There's a runner who's off second base by a few feet, but you don't want to risk anything here at the top of the 11th. You're already down a run. Last thing you want to do is put your team in that much further of a hole in that situation.
Well, that's a tough decision to make, and he's throwing out a couple guys today. Thought he could have thrown back over there. Make a good throw, but just a little wide.
Again, you're throwing 120 feet across the diamond. The 1-1 pitch misses, and the count 2 balls and 1 strike on the right-handed hitter. You're right, he has caught 2 batters running. This one a little bit different, of course, though, as the runner was just a little bit too far off of second base, and he threw it to the first base side of second. The 2-1 delivery. Fastball on the outside corner. Count 2-2 from Mizziazik. Mizziazik has been the go-to guy for the Harwich Mariners this season. The left-handed pitcher has been their closer, allowing just 1 earned run over the course of now 11 1/3 innings of work. 2-2 pitch, breaking ball misses outside, and the count runs full at 3 balls and 2 strikes on Martorano. First base is open, and I think if you're Mizziazik at this point in the game, you had to think, I'm not going to throw him anything good to hit. 3-2 pitch, swung on and missed, fastball up, and Martorano swings right through it. That'll do it for the top half of the 11th inning, but not before the Whitecaps score a run and take the lead 2-1. You're listening to Mariners Baseball on the Harwich Mariners Radio Network. Bottom of the 11th inning from White House Field. Austin Rooney alongside my broadcasting partner Thomas Inzarella. We're glad to have you with us as the Brewster Whitecaps took a 2-1 lead in the top of the 11th. An RBI single off the bat of Cameron Eden. And back out on the mound for the bottom of the 11th is Jeff Griswell. He's had a long time between innings.
Oh, it should be interesting how effective he is here coming off cold off the bench.
And Danny Casals, the 5-hitter in the Mariners order, digs in from the right side. The first pitch from the right-handed pitcher, Griswold, misses upstairs and outside in the count 1-0. Now Casals, somebody who's found extra inning success in the past. Casals hit a 2-run home run versus Orleans to win the game. The 1-0 pitch is cut on and fouled off down the first base side, out of play.
Good pitch to hit, and Casals just got a piece of it, just missed it.
The 1-1 delivery. Swung on a defensive swing as he fouls it off. Behind home plate, out of play. The count 1-2. The 1-2 offering. On the outside corner, a fastball gets Danny Casals looking. He walked back right away. I thought that pitch may have just missed, but the home plate umpire, John Putallo, called out Casals, and he seemed to be in agreement. There was no argument there. He walked right back to the dugout.
A tough pitch for Casals. Might have been just a bit outside, but so far, Criswell in the driver's seat with 1 out here.
1 out, bottom of the 11th inning, a 2-1 Brewster Whitecaps lead. First pitch to Ben Norman, who is in the 6th spot in the Mariners order, is cut on and missed, and the count 0-1.
And if you're every Harwich hitter right now, you just got to do something small. You can't try to swing for the fences. Just do your part and get on base. Don't have to hit a hard ball. Just find somewhere in the outfield.
The 0-1 pitch to Norman. Cut on and fouled off over towards the press box, out of play. Count no balls and 2 strikes in the left-handed hitter. And Ben Norman is somebody who has hit a home run this season for the Mariners. It was a line drive home run versus the YD Red Sox, and that ball just snuck over the fence. The 0-2 pitch runs upstairs and inside, and the count 1-2. Dimensions at White House Field, a little bit longer than over at Red Wilson Field. 330s at the corners, 400 in dead center. 1-2 pitch misses upstairs. Just for comparison, it's right around 345 at the corners over at Red Wilson Field, but it doesn't get further than 355 out in center. So a lot of those long fly balls to center field get out of that ballpark.
375 in deep center back at Stony Brook as well.
2-2 pitch. Fastball in the inside corner. Norman doesn't like that one, but it's back-to-back keys from Griswold. And we mentioned it beforehand, he's a little bit cold coming off the bench. He's been waiting for probably 20 minutes, but it seems to not have affected him at all. He comes out and mows down the first 2 hitters via the strikeout.
I guess there's a reason why these guys are here on the Cape. They can fare through any temperature or weather or anything, hot or cold.
First pitch to Brad Devo, the designated hitter, is cut on and fouled off down the third base side. Devo, 1 for 3, a single, couple of strikeouts. He also walked and scored the lone Mariners run back in the bottom of the 2nd inning. 0-1 pitch, a breaking ball misses low, and the count 1-1. Logan Driscoll stands on deck if necessary. He'd be followed by Nate Eichhoff. 2 outs, bottom of the 11th inning. 2-1 game. The 1-1 pitch misses outside, and the count 2 balls and 1 strike. The Brewster Whitecaps scored the go-ahead run in the top of the 11th inning. It was an RBI single off the bat of Cameron Eden. The 2-1 offering. Cut on and missed. And the count 2 balls and 2 strikes on Devo. Mariners down to their final strike, looking to stay alive in this ball game, possibly come back and tie it. And the 2-2. Cut on and fouled off. Debo staying alive.
Sir job if Debo just love to see another pitch, able to foul tough pitch off in on the hands. Good job by Debo just to make contact.
Debo extended his hit streak to 4 games today. The 2-2 pitch. Fastball cut on and missed. Debo goes down swinging. An outstanding performance from Jeff Criswell. He strikes out the side in the bottom of the 11th inning to win the game for the Brewster Whitecaps 2-1. And it was a game in which there was not a lot of offense. The Whitecaps started the scoring. That was back in the top half of the first inning. When they scored on a pass ball, the Mariners responded in the bottom of the second with a run of their own on an RBI double from Tanner Morris. But ultimately, the Mariners were unable to get offense later on in this ball game. And they end up falling 2-1. It's their first loss versus the Brewster Whitecaps. First loss to either the 4 or 5 teams in the East Division. And Thomas, what were your thoughts? Let's start with the positives on the pitching side. The pitching was really good tonight for the Mariners.
The pitching was exceptional. Starting with Ricky DeVito, came in with 6 innings, pitched 5 hits, 1 run, not an earned run, 2 walks and 8 Ks. Definitely one of the better outings for Ricky DeVito on this season. It's a tough one to swallow. Again, we've had a bunch of these this year where, for example, Harwich out-hit the Brewster Whitecaps this evening. The pitching was able to do it, but again, the bats and getting guys in when they're in scoring position. And the Mariners are able to do so tonight, and that's what ended up costing them this game so far. I mean, you look back in the box score, left 2 guys on second and third in the first inning, left bases loaded in the second inning. Now, they did get 1 across in the second, but again, just 1 more base hit, and those other first 2 innings could have got them something else. And looking through the 4th inning as well, had runners on first and third, can't get a guy in, so on a double play ball. So just a couple opportunities that the Mariners had, and they just passed up on them, and Bruce was able to capitalize on those mistakes, with especially the pass ball that scored the run, and that was their lone run until the 11th inning.
Yeah, it was a matter of small ball for the Brewster Whitecaps. That's all it took for them to be able to win tonight's game. Took them 11 innings for them to score their second run, but ultimately it was the Mariners' bats that were quiet all night long. Again, they scored a run in the second inning. They got their fair share of hits early on. In the end, the Mariners put up 10 hits compared to the 8 for the Brewster Whitecaps. But that'll do it from us here at White House Field. So the Mariners will take on the Chatham Anglers tomorrow night at 6:30. We'll see you on the call then. So for my broadcasting partner, Thomas Inzarella, I'm Austin Rooney saying so long from White House Field as the Brewster Whitecaps defeat the Mariners 2-1.